Hello, hello. Good evening. Hello. Yes, I'm sorry. I know it's a very short notice stream. It's my fault because I forgot to actually look at the time properly, which is always a good thing to do, right? Because I was busy trying to learn Mahjong. Mahjong, is that how you pronounce it? Mahjong, I think. Yeah. And I had a friend help me with it. And then we were like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna quickly make some dinner because then, you know, I want to stream, right? Let me just quickly fix up dinner. Promptly forget to, you know, write my usual hi, we're gonna get started in 30 minutes because I didn't know how long dinner would actually take. And then I was finished faster with dinner than I anticipated because I'm thinking, it's probably gonna be a longer than 3-hour stream once again because I don't trust this game in being over that quickly. We still kind of have 2 more days. Time is over and I'm glad you're here. I'm also glad I'm here. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna post the 5 minutes. I give people the 5 minutes. It's fine. I'm gonna give people the 5 minutes and hope you're all good. I now know a little more about Mahjong. Still not nearly enough to, I don't know, understand how to actually fully win. But hey, I at least know a little more about the tiles now, so that's fun. Reason being, you know the gacha. It's a gacha game. It's a very mean gacha game in terms of how to actually get the gacha currency, but it is a gacha game. Mahjong Soul, which is free to play in your browser. You can download it, but you can just play it in your browser as well. Next week Mahjong stream, good. That's what my friends as well. She was like, because we were struggling, I was telling her like, oh my god, I need a game. I don't know what to do. I don't know what the fuck to put on Saturday. We found something. But the bro... And then she was like, well, you could play Mahjong. I'm like, yeah, I can get my ass kicked by all the Chinese people that are on the English server just to kick the English people's ass. Because that's what happened to me. I got my ass kicked by Chinese people in the beginner section, and they were definitely not beginners. But also I found out that to actually gacha for the different characters in the Mahjong game, you basically, the only way to do it is to spend real money. So I'm like, okay, I will simply use you to train Mahjong, but because it's, you know, good and easy to play. But a gacha game where you do not even get any way to earn the gacha currency through normal gameplay, only real money, yuck, disgusting. I'm hurt, and I've played a lot of gacha games. I can definitely fill you in on where we are at the game. We are on day 3, 4. Wait, what day are we at? Fuck. What day am I at? Hold on. Chapter 4. Okay, hold on. We're at chapter 4. So, the thingy is, last time, we had another big thing happen. Oh, people want to kill him, right? In a rose garden out there. So it turns out, in the rose garden, both the blonde girl tried to get him, and also the guy who may be a secret laugh child, maybe not. We now know that he's not a secret laugh child because, also good evening, it turns out that the real former lord died at war, and his closest friend, servant, whatever, actually took his place, pretended to be him, and the other guy is his son. So he's not a secret laugh child. Turns out the actual former lord is just, you know, the one we thought was the former lord was not actually the former lord, but a servant pretending to be him. That's the most basic gist of what happened. So lots of reveals. We managed to save our lord once again from being murdered. The not so secret love child, not at all love child guy, I don't know, I don't remember people's names, I'm so sorry, is on our side. He's helping, he's asking around in town. Can you place your guess of the secret culprit as soon as I remember how to actually properly speak? Sure. Also, I know every Yakuza has a full Mahjong minigame included. I'm gonna have to try my hand at that at some point as well, so that's gonna be fun. Oh, I can do the Suns thing. I never knew. Just wait for the NFT only got show. Oh god, dear lord, no. Oh god, no. No. But sure, yeah, to place your bets. The one behind everything is the head maid. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, she's a bit sus. She's definitely sus. I can see why. But we have 2 more chapters. Well, I stopped in the middle of chapter 4 because I was like, there's so much happening. I'm just... Where exactly did I stop? Reception room. Ah, right. Okay, hold on. We stopped. We found this room. We found the basement. Why did I show up to Sun's new head? Because I just found I can do it. Also, for anyone hoping to ever see Undertale or any of its content on my, like here, on my streams, I'm sorry to say, I suck at Undertale. When it first came out and I played it, because I do own it, I have an entire 3.5 hours of playtime on Undertale, and you know how far I got? I managed to reach Papyrus once, lost his fight, deinstalled the game, and never touched it again. So I'm sorry. I love Undertale. I am very proud of Toby Fox for what he's doing, but no. Me? Bullet hell games? No. So what happened in this game is we found this basement and there was a rusty knife in it, and now our lordling son... Why can I not remember these people's names? What the fuck? Was acting weird, and we're following him to the room, and that's why I stopped. Because I was like, Irving, exactly, thank you so much. That's why I stopped, because I was like, oh, something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen in the room. I'm gonna be really, really mean and make it a cliffhanger, but something's gonna happen. The incident, it is called. There it is. Excuse me, huh? Mr. Irving and Miss Noel were already in the room. They both had serious looks on their faces. Huh, why is she here? Is there something wrong? Oh, Ellie, the knife we found is missing. Oh, I thought you were about to go like all murder crazy on me and stab me with the knife, but okay, it's just missing. Oh, the knife. I left the room for a little while after you were gone, and when I returned, the knife was gone from the box. I wonder if someone stole it. No one was here when I arrived. Aha, but you were the first person to arrive. Sus. Who would steal a knife and why? I knew I wrote his name wrong, not a common name though. Yeah, but it's fine. I knew what you meant. Don't worry, it will reappear in your chest.
Oh, that's a stab wound.
Who should I ask about the situation? We're gonna ask both of them anyway. I went outside as I wasn't feeling well. When I returned, Noelle was in the room. And you're not suspicious that she might have taken the knife? The knife was already missing then. Yeah, I think it was stolen while I was gone. I don't trust no one in this fucking mansion. The only one I trust now is the not actual laugh child. Because he's now like... He already tried to kill him once. And we managed to make friends with him. And now he's helping us. So I'm trusting him. But everyone else is like... I don't think anyone here is trustworthy. Okay, what do you have to say? I brought some tea to the Lord, but no one was in a room when I got here. Of course. All I did when I got here was pour some tea from my teapot into the cup. I didn't touch the box at all. I haven't... Oh my god, give me a second. I'm trying to wrap myself in a blanket because I'm fucking cold. It's not working. There we go. I haven't said anything about you being suspicious out loud yet, and you're already saying, oh, I didn't touch the box. Does that mean that the knife was stolen after Mr. Irving left the room, but before Miss Noelle entered it? My lord, I'll check if anyone has been here. Please have the tea while it's hot. Excuse me. She bowed, grasping what looked like a hat of some kind. You're hiding the knife, aren't you? It's a tea cozy. It keeps teapots warm. Yeah, you could definitely hide a knife in there. After Miss Noelle left the room, Mr. Irving sighed deeply. Goodness, who'd steal something like that? Someone who wants to see you dead. His face had turned pale again, just like it had been down in the basement. Maybe he'll feel better if I can get the knife back. I wonder why it was stolen, but first of all... Mr. Irving, may I look around the room a little? Yes, of course. I hope you can find out something. That's what I hope as well. That is definitely what I am hoping for as well. Alright, what can I look at? The floor. The floor here is made out of floor. When I examined the floor, I found a few damp spots. They're a little warm, and they smell like black tea. Do they now? There's a teacup and some cupcakes. And I have to click inside the box. Do you know if the tea has been tested for poison? Yeah, no, I'll give it a taste before she poured it into the cup. Is that so? Then it should be alright. Okay, what about the teacup? Filled with piping hot tea. Okay, what about the box? Huh? There was a small piece of porcelain in the box. It was as if the knife had been replaced by it. The piece is wet and a little warm. It smells like black tea. Is it a teacup fragment? Wait, did she smash the teacup? The fuck? Okay, what else can I do? I searched every corner of the teacup. There are no missing parts and no cracks, so the piece in the box isn't from this cup. It's not! What cup is it from? I went through everything. The box contains what may be a teacup fragment, and on the floor quite possibly tea droplets. Alarming. The cup on the table is not particularly chipped. What is going on? Originally there were 2 teacups. This tea has been replaced. The tea may have been replaced. Perhaps the original cup broke. I see. Did Noelle break it? That's so unlike her. I'll investigate a little more on this matter. I need to find out who stole the knife. Thank you. I'm counting on you. Don't go dying! Tonight I had a dream where it looked like the same as the first night, so don't go dying in your room. They didn't have enough money to make another CG. Well, I don't know if that's true, but... yes, Mr. Irving, please take a good rest. You don't look well. I'll do that. Mr. Irving lay down on the bed, looking tired. Actually, I had a lot of questions to ask. I'll leave them till after the Theft case is resolved. Just as I arrived, Mr. Evan came in through the front door. Evan, that's his name. Oh my god. Hey Ellie, I'm back. Welcome back. Were you able to talk to the villagers? Yeah, I asked around about the black dog, but I didn't really learn much about it. My hunch is telling me that they're hiding something. Hiding? What do you mean? I asked about the attack on Natalie, but all they said was it was the black dog's doing, nothing more. Oh! Wait! What if it wasn't a black dog? What if that's where the exorcism comes from? Like, what if it was Irving's doing? Like, he attacked her when he was smaller for God knows what reason. And they covered it up because, oh no, the Lord's son can't possibly be attacking servant girls. Maybe I'm thinking too much. Who knows? The young people seem to really have no clue. The old folks, though, it's like they didn't want to say. I tried to curse it out of them, but they just run away. Either that or Claire and say it's none of my business. What's that supposed to mean? Are they forbidden from talking about it or something? Maybe. I did hear there used to be a black dog in the woods long ago, but I have a feeling it was just a regular mutt. That particular dog would wag its tail and come up to you sniffing him, apparently. That does sound just like a normal dog. There might have been no black dog after all. Maybe. The villagers might have just created this black dog creature as an excuse to hide things that made them look bad. I see. But what sort of things? Well, what I just said. In any case, I'll dig in some more. How's things on your end? We found a knife, and also the knife is now gone. Oh. Well, we actually had a bit of an incident. I'm looking into that. What is it? Did someone come after him again? No, it's not that. Not yet. I told him that Mr. Irving and I found a knife in the basement and that it was then stolen. I wonder what the deal is there. Maybe it was stolen by whoever it is that wants to kill Irving. I'm not sure. If that's the case, then I need to look deeper. It would be interesting if you can reach a point in games where we don't need pre-made choices anymore. Would make these mystery games a lot more difficult. Ooh. But how would that work? How would that work? You know what games I was so interested in as a child but never actually played? I don't know what exactly they called it, Drawn to Life or something, because I always saw the TV spots where they were like, oh, draw whatever you need to help in your adventure. And I was like, what do you mean whatever I need? They can't have put every single possible thing in the game. How do they work? How do they work? That's what my childish mind wondered about. Like, that can't be. There's so many words. There's so many words. What if I wanted to use, and you know how German is a language where you can just combine a bunch of words and it's a new one, and that's actually still very much allowed. I was always like, how does that work? But I never had a Drawn to Life game, so I don't know how they managed to do it. I always wanted to break them. Break it with words that cannot possibly exist, but would actually help me in getting through the game. Drawn to Life in the ES was so good. I'm glad. I wish I got to play it. Yeah, but don't just stick your nose in things blindly. Let me handle the dangerous stuff. Aww. Thank you very much. He's helping to investigate. How should I feel about this? I can count on him. You missed out. Did someone manage to get most of English words? Nice. Yeah, maybe I'll look into it. Not sure if you can still get a copy. My DS does still work. Maybe I can get a copy somewhere. A totally illegal copy. I can count on him. I'm glad he's helping us out on the investigation. I'm gonna go out again. I'll check out the deeper part of the woods where the rumors say the black dog has appeared. Understood. Please be careful. I saw Mr. Evan off as he went out the door. Okay, there he goes. Who's in the dining room right now? Ah, a spider! A spider! As soon as I entered the dining room, I heard the scream. Louisa was running toward me, duster in hand. A spider! Oh, you're right. I'm glad it didn't come out in the middle of the meal. There's nothing to be glad about. Why did it come out in front of me? They can smell your fear. You don't like spiders, Louisa? And you do? Alright, then you take care of it. Okay, could you hand me the duster? And can I ask you some questions? I want to ask you about the tea in Mr. Irving's room. Tea? Yeah, that was me. Mr. Maurice asked me to bring it up. The Lord wasn't in the room, so I just put it on a table. Really? Did you break the cup at the time? Huh? I'm not that clumsy. Well, you broke the Virgin Mary statue before, so... I mean, okay, so nothing happened. So this means that Louisa first brought the tea, then somehow the teacup broke, so Miss Noel brought another one. Ellie, did you catch it? Yeah, I'll release it outside. What if it comes outside again? It's one measly spider. It's probably not even as big as your entire smallest finger. Well, we'll deal with it then. Spiders are better to have around anyway, so long as they're not venomous. They eat at the pests after all. If they're harmless, there's no reason to kill them anyway. You're too optimistic. You might get bitten while saying that. Your average house spider does not actually bite, as far as I'm aware, so... Unless we're suddenly in Australia. Maybe. So I think we're pretty safe, I'd say. No spider CG, sad. No, I'm pretty happy there's no spider CG. Well, I wouldn't want that. It might very well sneak up on you and strike you when you least suspect it. Damn, girl. It wouldn't be the scariest thing lurking about in this manner. Does she not realize it though? Then again, Louisa might even be the culprit herself. The same goes for Miss Noel, Mr. Jack, and even little Natalie though. You okay? Look like you've seen a ghost. Look like you... They do bite, the teeth are just too weak. Oh my god, why would you tell me that? Now I won't be able to sleep tonight. You okay? Look like you've seen a ghost. It's not that scary. Nothing. I need to get going. Thanks for answering my questions. With that, I hurried out of the room. Straight into the kitchen. Hey Annie, perfect timing. Hi! Once in the kitchen, Mr. Jack greeted me with a grin. I could use some help. Could you clean those dishes? Oh, sure. Can I ask you some questions in return? Sure. What do you want to know? I'm checking to see who entered the Lord's room in the past hour or so. Is there anything you know? If so, can you tell me? Have we ever seen this guy actually outside of the kitchen though? Someone entering the Lord's room. Mr. Maurice did ask me to prepare some treats for the Lord to enjoy with his tea. I asked Natalie to take them. Someone took the tea while I was out for a bit, but they forgot to bring a treat. Sorry, hold on. Bring the treats up, so... Most spiders only bite if they got nowhere to flee. Yeah, if they're cornered, like most animals do, right? Actually, the constantly German house spiders are more harmless than your cats. That's all I know. So Natalie's the one who took the cupcakes I saw in the Lord's room. But my god, Natalie's face was white as a ghost when she came back. She wandered off somewhere almost in a daze. I was actually going to ask her to wash the dishes. Is that so? What happened to her? Well, maybe she wasn't feeling good. Maybe I wasn't too far off earlier. Maybe it's something to do with the knife. Why is it? I'm worried. Nicely done. That's enough. Thanks. After washing the last of the dishes, he handed me a towel and some cupcakes. Can you wash my dishes as well? Please? Your reward for helping out. If you see Natalie, give her one too. She may feel better after eating something sweet. True. Thank you. I left the kitchen with the cupcakes. They were still warm. Nice. Okay, there's only one more place she could be. Hi. Natalie was hunched over, her face ghastly pale. Natalie, are you okay? Oh, Ellie. Mr. Jack was right. You really don't look good. Here, have a cupcake. It's from him. He said you might feel better after eating something sweet. Thank you. Oh. As Natalie reached out to take the cupcake, a piece of porcelain fell from her apron. Ho ho ho! I've seen this piece before. It was... no, that was perfect already. This one. What? Is that porcelain from the teacup in Mr. Irving's room? It has the same design. Maybe it broke by accident. Something startled me, so... What startled you? Can you tell me? Well... Maybe it's hard for her to say. I wonder what happened to her. Could it be what is related to Natalie breaking the cup? It's the rusty knife. It's the rusty knife. It's the rusty knife. Do you know anything about a knife in Mr. Irving's room? It was in a box. Natalie's face turned even paler. You know? Well, yeah, I looked inside the box. Mr. Jack asked you to bring the cupcakes to Mr. Irving's room. Did you see it then? Yeah, as I was putting the cupcakes on the table, I accidentally knocked the box over. Then a knife. Natalie's voice trailed off. She started to shake. Why is she so scared? What does a knife mean to her? It certainly seemed creepy, but still. You didn't take the knife from there, did you? I don't think you did, but I mean... Take it? No, I didn't. Of course not. You wouldn't do that, Natalie. But the knife disappeared after that. Do you know anything about it? Not about anything that happened afterwards, sorry. I raced out of the room then and there. You raced out? The knife made me remember something from when I was younger. I panicked. Natalie covered her eyes and shook her body. You remembered when you got hurt? Yeah, there was a cute dog at the time. I followed the dog and went deep into the woods. Then that knife was used to attack me. The person who attacked me... Ah! Natalie! Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. They're hiding it, they're hiding it, they're hiding it. She wasn't attacked by a dog. She was attacked by a person. I turned to where the voice had come from. Miss Noel was running towards us. Here you are. I was looking all over for you. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a grudge. If they're aunt and... What word is it, niece? Oh, that's a grudge. She works for the family, but that's a grudge. Aunt, I'm sorry I had you clean after me. That's fine. Are you okay? Not really. Not really. Natalie. Miss Noel held Natalie in her arms as if to comfort her. What's going on? Aunt, so these two are... You should go home today. I'll accompany you for a bit. Okay. Grasping Natalie's hand, the two started to walk off. Miss Noel. Yes? If I may, can I talk to you after? Sure, I'll be back soon. Okay, I didn't think they were related. Haha. Shortly after, Miss Noel returned alone. What do you want to ask me? Is it about Natalie? That too. Natalie was calling you aunt earlier? Yes, Natalie's my niece. The Lord and Mr. Maurice already know. Try to keep it a secret though. I don't want her to be given special treatment. Just keep treating her as an apprentice. Understood. So you kept it all on the wraps for Natalie's sake. She's really special to you, isn't she? Yes, I try to be firm with her, but if I'm not careful, I just end up becoming too overprotective. Just like this time. You have to take care of Miss Noel before you can add Natalie to your harem. Now that I think about it, she did make me go with Natalie to the woods before. She must have been genuinely worried. Miss Noel, there's one more thing I'd like to ask. About a stolen knife. Why are you asking about that? Is that another task the Lord has given you? He really depends on you, doesn't he? You haven't even been here all that long. Ooh! Immediately? About the tea you brought to Mr. Irving's room. There was actually tea in the room before that. You brought yours after, right? Why do you think so? The proof that there was tea in the room before Miss Noel brought hers... Yes, the cup fragment. The broken one. Yeah, this one. There was a teacup fragment in the room. It would have been from the cup that Louisa brought earlier. Natalie broke that one, so you brought a new one to replace it. Is that right? I cleaned up the mess, but you still found out. You didn't clean it up enough. I ran into Natalie just as I was bringing some tea to Miss Grace. I ended up putting her tea in the Lord's room instead. Is that so? Mr. Irving returned to the room after that. So, you mean to accuse me of stealing the knife? Yes, given the circumstances, you're the only one who could. I see. And how did I do it, pray tell? Was there anything suspicious? Yes, you probably used this to steal it. Miss Noel used this to steal the knife, the tea cozy, like I said earlier. You stole the knife by hiding it in a tea cozy, didn't you? Yes, I was right. Why did you steal the knife? You don't need to know. You'll be happier if you don't. Tell me! It's a mystery. Knife must be related to the black dog thingy and Natalie. Natalie was apparently the victim of a black dog attack in the woods, one that left her face scarred. She herself didn't remember anything back then. That's just what people told her what happened. The truth is she was attacked with that knife, wasn't she? That's why you stole it? That's right. Natalie remembered what happened when she saw the knife. When I heard that I got rid of it, that poor girl, that knife caused her so much pain. It frightened me. I couldn't just let it sit there. Well, that was easy. That was easy. What did you do with the knife you stole? I threw it into that pond over there. Miss Noel pointed at the pond in the corner of the garden. I'll explain that I stole the knife to the Lord myself. Sorry to cause you so much trouble. With that, Miss Noel headed back to the manor. Wait, so she only stole it because it made Natalie's memories return and nothing more? I wasn't able to ask anything in detail about who attacked Natalie and such. I was afraid to ask. After that, I searched the pond that Miss Noel mentioned. The knife, wrapped in cloth, had luckily gotten stuck in a shallow part of it. Of course. Oh, still hasn't returned, has she? Mr. Maurice's voice echoed through the hall when I arrived back at the manor with the knife. What's wrong? Noelle went to the Lord's room but hasn't returned. It's almost dinner time. What could she be doing? Really? Should I go look for her? Wait. She went to the Lord's room and hasn't returned. Where's the Lord? Yeah, please. Is Miss Noelle still talking with Mr. Irving? It's been a while. Uh-oh. Excuse me. Huh? When I entered the room, Miss Noelle was sitting at a table alone. She seemed to be in a daze. Miss Noelle? Ellie, what's wrong? Mr. Maurice told me to come check on you. Goodness, would you look at the time? I must not be all here. Where's Mr. Irving? I looked around the room, but Mr. Irving was nowhere to be seen. He left. For where? Who knows? Who knows? Miss Noelle is acting strange. So, what happened then? Did you talk to Mr. Irving? Yeah, I apologized to the Lord and explained why I stole the knife. Then I asked if it was really the one used to attack Natalie. What did Mr. Irving say? He said it was one and the same. Did he really say that? So the stories about the black dog were all lies. Lies fabricated by the adults at the time to hide the real culprit. Hide? Actually, there were rumors at the time that Natalie was attacked by the son of the Rockefort family. Some people said they saw a silver-haired boy carrying a knife deep in the woods. The mere mention of it always infuriated the adults, though. Who allows you to even make a living here, they'd say. The Rockeforts really are like the masters of Rakiston Village, so... But did Mr. Irving really attack Natalie? I can't believe it. I think he did. The Lord acknowledged it when I spoke with him just now. I said if he attacked Natalie, attacked a villager for no reason at all, then I don't want him becoming head of this household. I'd rather he drop dead, I said. Then he said very well and left. What the fuck do you mean? He said very well and left. She'd rather he drop dead. Very well, he said. Suddenly my dream flashed in my mind. Don't tell me Mr. Irving killed himself. Here I was thinking Mr. Victor was the culprit, to think it was actually Mr. Irving all along. Victor? That is... No, I'll ask you about it later. I need to look for Mr. Irving. Why? Because Mr. Irving could die any minute. Yeah, that's what I've always wanted. What? I can't forgive the culprit who scarred Natalie's face. I always wanted that person dead. Miss Noelle. Search! Don't search for him. It's fine. I need to find Mr. Irving no matter what, because I don't want him to die. I've been powerless until now. I couldn't help even when I had a dream of someone dying. He thought me I can change that. He thought you? If it's a life that maybe I can save, I definitely don't want to overlook it. Excuse me. I ignored Miss Noel and headed for the door. That moment. I fell forward. Someone had pushed me from behind. What? I'm sorry. Stay here for a while. I'll do the rest. Miss Noel left the room, closing the door behind her. I heard the doorknob being fiddled with after she was gone. What did she do? Well, she probably, locked you in that room, so you couldn't go out. I tried to open the door, but the knob wouldn't turn at all. It seems to have been tampered with somehow. Miss Noel's long gone, and all I can sense on the other side of the door is silence. I'm locked in. No. Is there a way to get out? Is there a way? Check. Scream! No, just check the room. We're gonna find something, probably. Should I check the room while I'm here? I feel bad for Mr. Irving, but there might be something useful. You can smash a window. We're on the ground floor. Just open the window and go out the window. What the fuck is the problem right now? I checked inside the wardrobe. Is there anything I can use to get out of this room? Huh? Oh, there were two of them! Oh, I didn't think of that. I did not think of that. There was a picture at the back of one of the drawers. It's a photo of two boys. They look exactly alike. Are they twins? One seems to be Mr. Irving. He does look sort of familiar. It really is him. Does that mean he has a brother? That's a first for me, though. Oh, hang on. Miss Noel did say something before. He was thinking Mr. Victor was the culprit. The thing was actually Mr. Irving all along. Is this other person in the photo the Mr. Victor that Miss Noel was talking about? Maybe they really are brothers. I wonder where he is now, though. Well, either he's dead or he was, banished from the family after attacking someone with a knife. Maybe he died because he was sick and Irving blames himself and has taken the blame for the attack on Natalie, even though it wasn't actually him. Something. Okay, good to know. We need to get out, though. I opened the curtain and looked out. Someone was there. Ah, is that... Oh, hi. I looked down from the window and saw Mr. Evan. I thought we were on the ground floor. It seemed like he was going to walk past without noticing. What should I do? Call him. Mr. Evan! Mr. Evan! Why can't you just open the window? Isn't the window supposed to be open? I tried calling out to him, but he didn't seem to notice. Should I call him louder? But if I do, Miss Noel might hear. That'd make it even harder to get out. Okay, look for other ways then. How else can I get him to notice me? I'll take a look around the room and give it some thought. Smash something against the window that makes a loud noise, startling him. There's a candle on the chest. Can I use this to get Mr. Evans' attention? Really? Throw it at him! You can throw a candle at him, but you can't just fucking open the window and shout for him? I threw the candle at Mr. Evan. Huh? What is this? The candle struck Mr. Evans' body, causing him to look up suspiciously. Ellie, what are you doing? He finally noticed me leaning out the window. I gestured to him that I was trapped and in need of help. Okay, I'll catch you, so jump. Mr. Evan opened his arms wide toward me. No. I better not do anything rash. I need to go about this as safely as possible. Is there anything I can use to jump off safely? Ha! Let me use these sheets as a rope. It'll be safer to jump from the lowest possible height. When does she have the time to do all that? When? How? I removed the sheets and tied them to the window frame, using that as my means of escape. Okay, I'm ready. Jump from there. The sheets didn't reach the ground, so I climbed down them as far as I could, then jumped toward him. It's literally not that high. But okay. Are you okay? Yes, thank you very much. Mr. Evan gently lowered me to the ground. How did this happen? Well, actually, we don't have time for that. He could be already dying. I told him Miss Noel was the one who stole the knife, plus her motive for doing so. What on earth? So she told him she'd rather he dropped that. He said very well and just up and left? Yes, I'm very worried. I have no idea where he went. Then that was... What is it? Do you know something? Well, I was deep in the woods just now where people say they saw the black dog. I saw something silver on my way out. I thought it was nothing, but that could be... Mr. Irving. It could very well be. I'm going to look for him. I'm coming. I grabbed some lanterns, so wait here. And so we made our way to the dark woods behind the manor, light sources in hand. This area is under control. There shouldn't be beasts about, but be careful when we go deeper in the woods. We don't know what's out there. Suddenly we will get jump scared. Ooh. Okay. Though scared at just how dark the area was, Mr. Irving and I ventured farther in. But you really think that Irving's gonna kill himself? Something tells me you're overthinking things. I really think he will, yes. Why? I had a dream in which Mr. Irving dies. A dream? Is that why you think he'll die? Listen, I also had a dream about you trying to kill him and that happened, so I trust my dreams. It might seem silly, but I've been able to help Mr. Irving time and time again thanks to my dreams. In fact, it was my dreams that helped me prevent you from attacking him at all. You can't be serious. Then again, I guess you did seem to predict what was going to happen back then. Fine, I trust you. In any case, we need to find him. There's a bunch of stuff we need to ask him. Right. Huh? What, you don't want to? Well, I'm starting to feel like I shouldn't actually ask him anything at all. If I can just confirm his safety, that's enough. Learning the truth would be frightening in itself. What, getting cold feet now? As nosy as you are? Can't you solve anything without knowing stuff in advance? Well, Look, I'm grateful to you. Thanks to you, I was able to learn about my father. That prevented me from going down the wrong path. I shudder to think what would have gone down had I not known. I might have been a murderer. Mr. Irving. Well, you decide what you want to do. I'm gonna ask him my questions, whether you do too or not. He doesn't beat around the bush. It's kind of encouraging to see someone so focused. But we're not on his route. Rather than question him, I'd rather be close to Mr. Irving. There might be things ahead that I'd rather not know about, but even so, I want to accept them for what they are. I want to be Mr. Irving's pillar, his strength. So I should be brave and move forward, as I only know how. With that mindset, I took a look around. Wasn't it here? Aha, there it is. My dream had suddenly come back to me. What was once hazy was now as clear as day. I remember, it's here. What is? This is the place where Mr. Irving died in my dream. Is that so? If that's real, then would he be around here? He might be. Why don't we split up and look? Alright. If something happens, yell out. I won't go too far. Mr. Irving and I separated and searched for Mr. Irving. This area is quite dense. I had a feeling I couldn't really rely on the lantern alone to light the way, so I walked carefully. This is kind of scary. No one really knows what's deep in these woods after all. There's the story of the black dog too, so... At that moment, I heard a feral growl. What was that? A wolf? I spun around, lantern raised. There, out in the darkness, a black beast, fangs bared, a fire in its eyes. Black dog? Doggo! Yeah! Without a second thought, I made a break for it. And collided with something head-on. Oh my! Ellie, are you okay? What? Mr. Irving? I looked up straight into Mr. Irving's eyes. He was hugging me. Oh, had a wild dog after you, did you? Seems to have made this place their home again. Shoo, away with you. He shot the beast a hostile glance, causing it to retreat and fight. What the fuck? What do you mean he shot it a hostile glance and it went away? Hello? A wild dog. Not the black dog then. I think that's just an old folk tale. I've never met someone who's actually seen it. Oh, is that so? But why are you here? I was looking for you, Mr. Irving. I had a bad feeling after hearing Miss Noel's story. I thought you might die just like I saw in my dream. I was worried that you might kill yourself. But really? So you grasped that much? You really are amazing. Are you really going to kill yourself? Is that why you're here? I came here because I thought I might be able to remember something. That Natalie girl was attacked here.
Hello! Good evening, Hina. How are you doing?
After listening to Noelle, I figured I needed to remember what happened back then. But just remembering is terribly painful. The urge might have killed me. The urge? So that's how fragile Mr. Irving is right now. I'm glad I met him before something terrible happened. How you doing? How's the game going? I'm good. The game is going, interesting. Seems our little lordling has had at some point, possibly a twin brother. Isn't that interesting? But what do you mean by remember? You don't remember what happened 10 years ago? No, I don't have any memory of that time. Seeing the knife did jog my memory about the incident somewhat, but still. 10 years ago, my family said that Victor was the one who did it, so I was confused whether I did it or... Victor, is that... Yeah, the other guy on that picture. There was a picture with 2 boys in your room, my lord. Is Victor one of those boys? Twins, that can always complicate the story. Absolutely. You saw that, did you? Yes, that's right. He was the twin brother, so he died? He's dead? Why is he dead? Mr. Irving's voice was almost a whisper. He's dead now, though. Passed away in a car accident with my mother right after the incident with the knife. Yeah, okay, 90-20 car accident, okay. Is that so? My lord, do you think your brother was the one who did it? The incident 10 years ago, I mean? I do, yes. Well, I think it was one of us at least. My memory of that time is still quite fuzzy. So many things happened back then that I get more confused the more I remember. Speaking of which, what else happened 10 years ago? The maybe the twin is alive. Maybe the twin is still alive and he's the one behind all of this. Maybe he didn't die. There was an exorcism conducted by Miss Mahi and others. They did that because of the incident itself. Because of the incident? Why on earth would an exorcism have taken place? Anyway, if the 2 elements are connected, then... Miss Mahi was saying she felt the same thing from the exorcised spirit back then as she did from the culprit's letter this time around. Yeah, it was hard to believe when I first heard it, but if it's true, then somehow this incident is connected to the one that occurred 10 years ago. All the more reason for me to have to remember properly. I know it's going to be painful for you, my lord. I hope I can help. Ellie, thank you. Mr. Irving smiled. He seemed to be choosing his words carefully. Then, can you just listen to my story? I get confused if I try to remember by myself. You may not want to hear some of the things I end up saying, but still. I'll be fine. I'm prepared to accept anything, any facts. Really? Yes, no matter what happens, I'll stay with you, without looking away. Before I could finish, Mr. Irving placed a hand to my cheek. Whoa! My lord! Ellie, will you really accept all the facts I tell you? He looked me straight in the eye. He was so close I could feel his gentle breath. Aha! He might be an attempted murderer. No touch, she's still 16. Doesn't matter who I am. Who you are. There was some anxiety in Mr. Irving's eyes. Why is he so unconfident about himself? He has more than just a noble title. Still, maybe that's what makes him so adorable. Yes, no matter who you are, you're important to me, more than anyone else. Rawr, don't go flirting with your employer. Ellie, when Mr. Irving and I were so close. Hey, here you are! Irving, you okay? There he is! Evan was making his way through the shrubbery. Mr. Irving let go of me and I took a step away. Did you... What? It seems he wasn't looking. Evan, you were looking for me too, were you? Yeah, I had a lot of questions to ask. But it seems like you've forgotten a lot, so it might be better to ask you after you got your memory back. What? Why do you know that? Oops, I was trying to act like I didn't see. Well, that didn't work. Trying? Then were you watching just now? Maybe. You two started to talk about things not entirely relevant to me, so I didn't want to keep waiting around. Hope you don't mind my showing up. Stop blushing! I get uncomfortable too! Anyways, Irving, just remember about what happened. The black dog drivel was used to cover up the truth about the case from 10 years ago, right? If you can just jog your memory, I'll be closer to the truth about my dad's death. I'll help you in any way I can if that helps you to remember. Well, alright then. Mr. Irving gave it some thought, then spoke again. I'm thinking about going back to the manor and asking Mahi some questions. Would you come with me? Miss Mahi? Yes, after remembering some things, I think it's better to ask her about what happened 10 years ago. But I still can't trust her fully. Hearing about the past might make me a little upset too, so it certainly would help if you were there with me. I see, sure. Sure, no problem. Thank you. Then let's go. Someone was in the garden when we arrived back at the manor. Miss Noelle. When Miss Noelle noticed us, she was a little surprised. My lord, why did you return? Because that's still very much his fucking house? What the fuck? To bring back my memory. I didn't tell you before, but my memory is still somewhat patchy when it comes to the incident 10 years ago. I want to get things straight for your benefit too. I'm responsible for all of you. Miss Noelle eyed Mr. Irving, then handed him a piece of paper. What's this? This was in a box. When I stole the knife, I brought it with me and left it in my pocket. I see. I didn't even notice it. I wonder if Mr. Oliver put it there? We need to consider what this memo means too. Absolutely. Let's get to the bottom of this. Let's find out everything. Well, who the fuck is let's find out everything? Indeed. Mr. Irving strode forward. With newfound resolve, I followed behind. Oh! Alright. Final chapter. The end of the nightmare. Immediately after returning from the woods, we asked Miss Mahi to come to the basement. As you do. I came here a long time ago. How nostalgic. Nostalgic. This basement looks like someone could have quite possibly been tortured here. It reminds me of the end of Hotel Dusk, actually. Or like close to the end of Hotel Dusk, when we also found that basement. The ritual was performed in the room just ahead. You did it here underground? This is where you performed the exorcism? Stepping foot in here for the first time, Mr. Evan looked around suspiciously. So what was it you wanted to talk about? I want to ask about the exorcism 10 years ago. Some parts of my memory are missing, so can I confirm some things with you? If that's the case, then I couldn't possibly refuse. Please ask me anything. Can we ask some questions as well? Oh, of course. Then, first of all, why was the exorcism performed? We did it to expel the evil spirit possessing Mr. Victor. Mr. Victor was Mr. Irving's twin brother. Once he was such a gentle child, but after a certain age, he started tormenting animals as if he was possessed by something. Oh, it's that kind, okay. Tormenting animals. Back then, there had been squirrels and rabbits killed deep in the woods. They said it was the work of the Black Dog. You mean the one who really killed them was Mr. Victor? And Natalie was attacked in the same way, right? Natalie? She must be the girl from the village. It seems so. When we received the request, we were told that a girl from the village had also been attacked. I see. So it was Mr. Victor who attacked her. Which means that Irving is innocent. I think so. Hearing that, I don't see any reason for us to believe that Mr. Irving was behind the attack. But why did Mr. Irving think that he himself might have been the culprit? Maybe the exorcism wasn't actually to drive out the evil spirit, but it was used as a, to hypnotize him into thinking he is Irving when he's actually Victor. Do you have any idea what happened? No, I'm more confused than anything else. Confused? Well, after hearing about it, my memory became clearer. I'm sure that my brother was responsible for the attack. The day he brought home a knife with blood on it, I can remember everyone's faces turning pale. My parents had been worried and made him see a doctor, but after the incident, my grandfather started to claim that he was possessed by a demon or an evil spirit. That explains the exorcism. Before we were called, they had already tried a number of methods, like having a priest exorcise the demon. However, none of them seemed to really work. The Lord told us that he wanted the evil spirit gone, and told us to do whatever was necessary to cure him. Whatever was necessary? In those days, my grandfather also governed the village, so he couldn't have a member of the family attacking someone from the village. Victor said that he didn't mean to hurt the girl, he just wanted to show her the knife to scare her, but grandfather wouldn't listen to such an excuse. My parents begged him to stop it, but he pressed on with the exorcism. What did you do during the exorcism? First, Mom chanted an incantation in Victor's room, but that didn't seem to work, so at the Lord's request, our methods gradually became more severe. That's right. After a while, the ritual moved to the room just ahead. Not even family members were allowed inside. For days after, we heard screaming. So it is a torture chamber. I was locked out too, so I don't know any of the details. Mom really tried everything she had, but in the end, she was able to drive the evil spirit out with fire. So in short, they locked up and tortured a child for a number of days. A 10-year-old child. Thank you, Evan. Straight to the point. Sure, what he did was bad, but even so... So that's why Mr. Irving's parents tried to stop it. Mom has never told me any details about what happened. This is the only case that she never talked about. And recently she's been moaning in her sleep, saying the name of the evil spirit they exorcised. What does it mean? Do you think she's being possessed? Could it be some sort of psychic phenomenon? Or is it because she's traumatized by what happened? It could be. In any case, if this is causing her agony, then I want to find out about what happened. Speaking of which, you said that you sensed the same feeling from the letters you did from the evil spirit. Yes, they feel like they have the same spiritual energy. Spiritual energy. Essentially, it's the energy that all living beings have. If a person has strong spiritual energy, then they may stay and become a spirit after they die. So what do you mean by evil spirit? That's what Mom called the feeling she had when she met Mr. Victor 10 years ago. The feeling she had when she met Mr. Victor? You had the same feeling before. So that means Victor wrote the letter. That's one possibility, if I was right about what I felt. That's not possible. He died, didn't he? It is possible for a ghost to write a letter. I'm sure you're suspicious after what happened at the seance, but that was just a lack of skill on my part. So the ghost wrote the letter, or maybe he's just not actually dead. No, the truth is I don't know. I felt the same spiritual energy, but I can't tell whether the person who wrote it is dead or alive. So it's possible that he's alive. That's more believable than the idea that a dead person wrote the letter. But Mr. Victor died in a car accident along with Mr. Irving's mother. Really? Did you see the bodies? I didn't. The bodies came home after the accident, but they were in an awful state, so I wasn't allowed to see them. But my father should have confirmed their identities. I don't know how bad they really were, but are you sure that he properly checked the bodies? If they were minced up or something, you wouldn't even be able to tell they were human. Mr. Evan, your example is... Now that you mention it, I don't know how the identities were confirmed. I just believed whatever I was told back then. I see. Should we investigate? Oh, definitely we should. Also, thank you so much for the hydrate time. And the posture check. Also, what the fuck? I didn't click any... Stop! I do not have automatic any automatic thing on with this game. I don't know why it does that sometimes. Anyway, posture check. Hold on. Yeah, okay, I'll take it. And a sweet little sip. And investigate how? Well, we could ask people at the church where the bodies were buried or check old newspapers. Maybe there's an article about the car accident. I see. I don't know how much of the medium story we can believe, but let's trust her for now. I'd also like to find out what happened. Let's work together. Sure. Anyways, was there more to your story? No, I told you everything I know. Okay, then I'm gonna go investigate right away. It's late, so we don't have much time either. With that, Mr. Irving left the basement. Saved corpse in memory! But why? Mr. Irving was standing restlessly. He had just been told that his deceased brother may be the culprit, so it was only natural. What should I do? While I was wondering what I should say, Miss Mahi stepped forward to face Mr. Irving. If you don't mind, I might look through the adjacent room. The room next door. The ritual took place in the neighboring room, so there may be traces of Mr. Victor's spiritual energy. I wish to confirm whether I was wrong about the energy I sensed from the letter. I see. I don't mind, but... Mr. Irving looked around the room, troubled. I don't know how to get to the next room. I'm sure that we can get to the next room from here. Looking around, I couldn't see any door other than the one to the ground floor. The entrance to the room next door is hidden. When I came here before, a family member opened the door, so I don't know how to open it. Miss Mahi doesn't know either, so to get to the next room... Make a hole in the wall! Fuck yeah, let's do it. No. Just punch a hole in the wall, easy peasy. In the stone wall. As you do. Shall we try searching the room? Maybe we can find the door. Yeah, let's try that. Search, start! There must be a hidden door here. I need to find it. So wait, what does that say? +1 G5. It says +1 G5. I wonder what it means. It was in a box with a knife, so I think that Mr. Oller was trying to tell Mr. Irving something. This is what the box was. Back then I was focused on the box and I didn't really look inside. I took another look inside the lower half of the bookshelf. Oh, there's a coin. 6 pence. Mr. Irving, there's a 6 pence coin. Really? You can keep it if you'd like. Oh, thank you so much. What a lucky find. Maybe I can buy some sweets with this. Oh man. The time where you could buy sweets with 6 pence. I didn't find anything other than the coin there. Okay. A variety of books are packed together tightly. The bookshelf is labeled and seems to be well managed. The top shelf is labeled A on the right and B on the left. The middle shelf is labeled C on the right and D on the left. And the bottom shelf is labeled E on the right and F on the left. Oh, where's the G then? Ah, maybe this has to do with the memo that says +1 G5. Wait, G5? The connection is the same numbers, the same symbols, the same letters. The labels on the bookshelf are the letters A to F and the memo has the letter G. Is there some meaning behind this? If this is some sort of a coincidence, the memo might be a hint about the bookshelf. The bookshelf is labeled on each row and column. Which label should I examine? Well, the very last one we have is F. We don't have a G. Why should I examine F? Because it's the letter before G. +1 G was written on the memo. Maybe it means that when F is moved up 1, it becomes G. I wonder what the 5 in the memo could mean. When I examined the place marked by the label F, I found a book marked Volume 5. I took out the book. Aha! There was a screw. Why was there a screw here? Take out the screw. Was there anything I can use to unscrew it? Yeah, the coin. I used the coin to turn the screw. Okay, got it. Huh. Haha! Just then the bookshelf slid sideways. All that with just the use of one singular coin. Oh, a door. That's where it was. Seems so. There's a stop on the back of the bookshelf which comes off if you remove the screw, allowing it all to move. Really? Anyway, I'm glad we could find it, all thanks to that memo. I do not feel comfortable walking into quite possibly a room that is only, you know, you can only reach it and lock it and unlock it from the outside. I don't feel safe if we all walk in there together, but maybe that's just me. Yeah, my father was leading us to the next room. I wonder what could be there. Mr. Irving touched the door nervously. The door opened with a deep sound and we stepped into the next room. Yeah, that's not a creepy room at all. This is... It was an eerie sight. I found myself unable to move. So this is where Mr. Victor's exorcism was performed, for days on end that. It seems I was right after all. I do believe the spiritual energy that lingers here is the same as that which I felt from the culprit's letter. Murmuring, she touched the bed that had been placed there. In other words, it belongs to Mr. Victor. Yes, or maybe it's the evil spirit possessing him. In any case, it's the same as I felt when I met Mr. Victor. Really? Oh, you've been here before too, Mr. Irving. Miss Mahee seemed shocked. How did you know that? I felt your energy. Have you ever had deep feelings of fear down here? I think they remain as energy too. You can tell that much. Deep feelings of fear? Did something happen to Mr. Irving here? Is there such a thing as spiritual energy anyway? Should I believe everything you've said so far? I'm not lying now. Of course, given my behavior so far, I don't blame you for being skeptical. I checked everything I needed to check. Excuse me for now. Please let me know if there's anything I can do. Yeah, stay watch at the door because I do not want to be locked in here. With that, Miss Mahee left the room. Only Mr. Irving and I remained. Did something happen to you here too, my lord? I asked the question timidly, and he responded in a whisper. I was attacked. Wait, what? What? After the exorcism was over, my brother brought me here against my will and choked me. Mr. Victor did that. What for? He was really angry at me for taking everything away. My mother came in immediately and helped me. Taking everything. Everything from him. Mr. Irving's face seemed to twist in pain, but still he continued on. It was like he was talking to himself. After that, Mother brought him to the car and drove off. Who knows how Grandfather would have reacted if he found out what my brother had done. They left the house to escape, but during that escape they got into an accident. That's why they died. Oh no, no way. Maybe it was the sheer pain of remembering, but Mr. Irving was biting his lip tightly. Shall we go back up? You can take a rest in your room? No, it's okay. I've come this far. I need to find out what my father was trying to tell me. Okay, I'll help. There's still some things that worry me about all this, but for now I'd better start examining the room. I am holding on to the whole, they probably swapped. I don't fully buy it. Like, I have a feeling he deluded himself into thinking he's the other brother for some reason. But maybe I'm thinking too hard about it. This is what you put incense in, right? Is there something inside? Oh, it won't open. I tried to remove the lid, but I could open only a small gap. Nothing of use, I guess. Can I open it more? I found one great coin. Yes, this coin could be used to open the burner lid. Insert in the gap of the incense burner. Hit it! I inserted the coin into the small gap between the lid and the container, then pulled on the lid. Oh, it came off. I peered into the open burner. There was a piece of paper in it. Something is written there. It's Mr. Oliver's handwriting. So is this a letter to Mr. Irving? I read the letter. By the time you discover this, I assume you're living your life as Irving. Ah ha ha! Ha 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 ha! I knew this would only confuse a young boy like you, so I kept it to myself, but I've always wanted to apologize to you. For robbing you of everything, you, so free of sin, for heaping a whole lot of other things on you. I'm ashamed that I couldn't stop my father at that time. I lost my wife and son as a result. However, now that it's come to this, I do hope that you lead a splendid life as the head of the family. I pray with all my heart that road leads you to happiness. P.S. In order for you to live as you, facing the past will be inevitable. To that end, I left you hints on the places and things that are related to your past. I believe you were able to find your way here because you have accepted everything that happened in the past. The letter ends here. Ha 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 ha! Yee! Galaxy Brain. Take right now. I'm feeling very good right now. Living as Irving, I don't understand. Robbing him of everything, heaping other things on him, what's that supposed to mean? Mr. Irving, I found this letter. I handed him the piece of paper I found. This is... Mr. Irving's hands began to tremble as he read. Father. Forgive me, my lord, but I actually read what it said. What does it mean? The letter mentions living as Irving. I shouldn't have asked about it? No, I want you to listen. I don't want to hide anymore. Mr. Irving looked me straight in the eye and spoke. I am Victor. Ha ha ha. Who would have guessed? Big plot point here. Big plot twist. You're what? I'm Victor. At least I was originally. Irving was actually my older brother. Brain. You're Mr. Victor, my lord. I'm sorry, but what do you mean by that? That incident, my brother attacking a girl in the village, it led to us switching our identities, as ordered by my grandfather, the head of the family. But why did you need to do that? Because the eldest son is the successor. That's how it is. Grandfather wanted me to assume that role. He thought he had no choice but to make me the eldest, make me Irving. Oh, okay, but that's why they switched. Okay. Ah. My brother, after all, had caused too much trouble. He was deemed unfit to become the head of the family. That's why they switched. The news was so shocking I was barely able to digest it. I'll have to ask for more details. Alright, what about the exorcism? So they performed the exorcism on Mr. Victor, but that was actually the son born as Irving, your older brother, yes? Yes, when communicating with people outside the family about my brother's problems, we tried not to call him Irving. We couldn't tarnish the name of the eldest son of the family. So they chose to refer to him as Victor instead. Yes, before the identity switch was even decided though. If we hadn't switched, then I myself would still be treated as a problem child. I actually am Victor after all. Terrible. Heaping the blame on you, the younger brother, attaching your name to things you didn't even do. That's how much we valued heritage. The head of the family must be trusted by everyone. So they tried to pretend that everything was fine. That's wrong. Yeah, I feel the same way now. It made me confused. I could only remember what happened 10 years ago in parts, so I thought my brother's actions were actually my own. In the picture, you two seem to be on good terms. In fact, I think we were on good terms. My brother was strong and cheerful, whereas I was more quiet. Because of that, he would often protect me. But then, from a certain point in time, the anger with him started to grow. Someone else want to come on and confess to actually someone else? Ellie is actually a detective? That's why he caused problems. Was it really the work of an evil spirit inside? Honestly, I'm skeptical. My brother was raised strictly as the heir to our family, so maybe the fault lies there somewhere. I was only when we acted out against all the scolding and pressure around him, gradually isolating himself from the family, that he started to cause problems. Your brother was angry at you for taking everything away. Is that because he switched identities? Yes, because of what grandfather ordered after the exorcism. It's not Mr. Irving's fault. Maybe his brother couldn't help but blame someone, but still. So not only did Mr. Keith assume your father's identity, but you and your brother assumed each other's. It certainly is a weird story, but Keith was the only servant who knew about our switch, so maybe that's why he decided to take on a new identity himself as well. He may have deemed it indeed possible. I see. By the way, a lot of other servants besides Mr. Keith were fired at the time. Was that to prevent your identity switch from being noticed? It seems that way. It's terrible, I know. Oh, what else? About an idea? You seem to have an idea as to why your father wants you dead. Is it because you switched identities? Yes, when it was decided that I would become higher, how do you say higher? Higher? Do you say the age? My father disagreed. Deep down I thought it was because I wasn't suitable as a successor, and since my memory was all jumbled up itself, you thought your brother's actions were actually your own. Like air, I think. Hair. Oh, yeah. That sounds about right. Yeah, what's like abominable demons were thrown around in reference to him, but somehow I thought they were about me. Because the name Victor had been used. The switching of identities is what caused everything. Mr. Irving, are you okay now? Have you properly regained your memory? Yes, thanks to you. Feelings, memories, they're okay now. I don't think I'll be confused anymore. I'm over my childhood trauma, it's fine. I managed to work through all that in the 5 minutes it took me since finding out. I see, I'm glad. I breathed a sigh of relief and Mr. Irving smiled. I was worried until now, but I'm glad to talk to you. I was mainly able to get things sorted out in my head because you were here to listen. Really, I'm happy to have helped. Can we get out of this stuffy underground torture room now, please? Yes, thank you so much. Mr. Irving glanced at the letter we found, eyes narrowed. I do hope that you lead a splendid life as the head of the family. I hope I can live up to father's expectations. I myself want to live that way, I really do. But yeah, that's so funny, right? They found this letter, and this one was written by the actual father? Wait. No, it was written by Oliver. So, wait. Was it written by the actual father? Or was it written by the other guy? Because in this one he doesn't want him dead, but the one at the seance, he wanted him dead. And the one at the seance was the one that is pretending, where someone's pretending to be the father, right? So that would be the quite possibly not dead brother coming back into the picture. Lead a splendid life. Yes, Mr. Irving will continue to do just that. Therefore, I must protect Mr. Irving. I have to catch the culprit no matter what. My resolve was the greatest it had ever been. It's great, Ellie. Phew, I'm tired. My resolve was the greatest it had ever been. I'm tired. After that, I accompanied Mr. Irving to his room and finally had some time to settle down. Today was tough. I went to the woods, then the basement, got trapped in a room, managed to escape, searched a pond for a stolen knife. Counting off the day's events almost made my head spin. Actually, I'm kind of thirsty. Might go grab some water. Sure. When I went into the kitchen, the lights were still on. Huh? It's so late. I made my way to the sink, somewhat suspicious. Oh, Allie, what's... Oh! My good dude. Just yesterday I said that we would never see you without your chef's hat, but it seems we do actually get to see him without the hat. I am pleasantly surprised. It doesn't even look half bad. Just called him Forgetful Boy and Bad Boy. That's confusing. Yeah, let's do that. Got the same hair color as the Lord. No! Fuck! I think... Yeah, no, I think you did. I didn't notice that. There he is. Wow. Let's just call him Irving and Jack. Oh, Ellie, what's up? Oh, Mr. Jack. Having suddenly appeared, I couldn't help but stare at him. I saw a look on your face. Is it because I'm not wearing my hat? I don't blame you. I'm always wearing it, I guess. Why are your eyes green now? Or is that just my monitor acting up? The hatless Mr. Jack stroked his silver hair lightly. Yes, I was a little surprised. I didn't know Mr. Jack had silver hair. The hat he always wears makes it impossible to notice. Now that I think about it, he has green eyes too. In many ways, he looks kind of like Mr. Irving, just a little more muscular. Yeah, a little taller. No, I didn't want to, no, I didn't mean masculine. I meant he had more muscles because of his work. Muscular. Bleh, 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 bleh. So what are you doing here? You wanted to get some snacks? Oh, I was thirsty, so I came to have a glass of water. I see. Then I'll make you some tea. I just said I wanted a glass of water. You have no more work, right? There's some leftovers going, so let's have a midnight tea party. Wow, thank you so much. You're so kind, Mr. Jack. It's my policy to be nice to girls. Ooh, and a playboy. Is that right? Why am I not surprised that it's the chef? I was this close to saying earlier, like, hey, in the end it's gonna be the fucking chef before we found out all of this. You know, just because it would be funny, right? They're not going to introduce another character. And I'm saying that like a character we haven't actually seen yet with a sprite. And I'm saying that for the very simple reason that I don't think the budget for this game was that big. Right? I just don't think the game had that much of a budget, so I'm thinking, oh wait, they already drew everyone who it could be. No, it has to be him. Don't drink anything he gives you. True. Come to think of it, I don't know much about Mr. Jack. There's some things I'm curious about. Let me ask him some questions. Don't do that. He's gonna fucking kill you. Or he's gonna drug you and then kill Irving. Easy peasy. Mr. Jack, have you ever met Mr. Irving? No, I've only seen him from a distance. I'm always in the kitchen, and the Lord never comes down here. It's been half a year since Mr. Jack came here. During that time, Mr. Irving was barely ever at the manor, so I don't think it's strange that they've never met. Mr. Irving didn't even know about Natalie. Speaking of him, the Lord seems to like you. What? I'm not sure if he likes me. Louisa told me he's always calling you over to his room. Louisa told you that. I have to ask her about that later. What kind of person is the Lord anyway? Is he sort of overbearing or? Not at all. He's serious yet responsible. I think he's wonderful. I had hoped Ellie was a bad brother all along. She might be forgetful. Oh, good for you. I do not feel safe here. I do not feel comfortable. Were you still working here, Mr. Jack? No, I've already finished my work. I was worried if the fire in the oven was properly extinguished, so I came to check. Sure you did. What were you doing before that? What were you doing before coming to this manor, Mr. Jack? Pretty much the same thing as here, cooking for nobles in a mansion. I used to be at the bottom though, so it was much tougher. It's nice to not be yelled at here. We're low on staff though, so I can't goof off as much. Is that so? Getting yelled at? Even a master chef like you? Oh, unless it was for goofing off itself. That might have been a part of it. Well, people were tough on me, for my own good I guess. After finishing the tea and scones, Mr. Jack got up from his chair. Now that we've finished drinking tea, shall we call it a night? Yes, good night. Good night. Sweet dreams. What? Huh? Did I say something weird? No, it was a perfectly normal figure of speech. Sweet dream. For a moment I thought he was talking about a prophetic dream, which gave me a start. I'm sure Mr. Jack doesn't know about it. Does he? Does he? That night I had a dream again. The entire manor is on fire. Yeah. Did he properly extinguish it? Oh, did he? Red, is this fire? What on earth is burning? No way, is the manor burning? It's hot, I'm burning too. Oh my gosh, fire! Huh? What? Are you still asleep? I jumped out of bed suddenly. Louisa, who was getting ready, looked at me strangely. What do you mean fire? You jinx are saying things like that. The manor was on fire. They're going to burn everything and everyone this time. What are you saying, really? You're scaring me. You got up earlier than usual just to say that? Enough sleepwalking, go wash your face. I'm going first, don't be late today. Louisa left the room without giving me a second thought. Maybe she'd gotten used to my morning routine. I must immediately inform Mr. Irving about my dream, before things go wrong. I quickly got ready for work, then hurried out of the room. Alright. Let's run! Excuse me, Mr. Irving, there's something I need to tell you. Me? Sorry, but can you wait a little? Yes. Oh. It was then that I noticed Mr. Maurice and Mr. Evan. You came too, Ellie, just in time. I learned a lot about the accidental death 10 years ago, so you should listen too. Can I go first? I think the chef is going to set the entire manor on fire. Can we deal with that first? No? Accidental death, as in Mr. Irving's mother? Yes, please let me hear. What did you find out? About the details of the accident. It was a car accident, but the cause of death was drowning. The car apparently crashed into the sea. Drowning? Victor was thrown from the car into the sea. It took a few days for his body to be recovered. So it didn't look the same as when he was alive. They determined it was him based on his belongings. It wasn't him. Is that so? So the body might not even have been his. Yeah, it's possible. If Mr. Irving's brother is alive, then I wonder if there's a possibility of him being the culprit. That is, if Mahie's words are anything to go by. I'm just impressed you found out about 10 years ago. Was it written in the newspapers? I actually checked the old newspapers here, yes, but in so doing I came across a memo my father wrote. Written by Keith? It listed a detective in charge of the investigation. I used that to contact the police and find out more details. I see, so Keith was investigating the accident too. Maybe it has something to do with his research into the black dog. Speaking of Keith, Maurice, you found out something too, right? Ellie be like, don't worry, in the dream it looks like nice, always safe for now. She's gonna make it a really close call again. We're probably gonna like run in on him trying to set the fire and then like slap whatever it is he used to set it like out of his hands, like, no, you cannot do that. Oliver, no. Well, which one was it? What's the brother's name? Victor. Victor, not Oliver. A bad boy or Jack. No, but I have to call him like by his real name. Though, I mean, his real name would be Irving, but you know, details. Yes. Maurice, who had been silent until then, stepped forward. I heard from Eleanor's light that she saw Keith in the attic on the night before his death. In the attic? There's nothing there but servant rooms. What was he doing there? Hiding something. Apparently he went into someone's room. It was dark in the corridor, so she couldn't tell which room he went in. Maybe he was murdered in whichever room he went into? Could that be a possibility? Perhaps he was fed poison or something similar there. Yes, and then carried to his room and made out to look like he died of natural causes, for example. Not entirely out of the question, I'd say. It would mean the murderer was a servant, though. Yeah. Alright then, why don't we try questioning each servant? About the current case too, of course. When did the Lord die? When did he die? Oh, I don't have that anymore. Like, he hasn't been dead that long yet. So it could have been Jack. He's a servant. He has a room up there. He has been here for like half a year. Could have struck the old head of the house. He wouldn't know. He would know that that's not his actual father. He would recognize him. Right? Yes, we won't get anywhere at this rate. That sounds like a plan. Well then. Oh, please wait. We don't have time for that now? Ellie, did something happen? Yeah, actually. Well, yes, I had a dream this morning that this manor was on fire. Fire? That sounds preposterous. What caused the fire? I don't know what caused it. All I know is I saw it burning. Really? Alright, let's check the manor right away. Whoever it was may have already planted the seeds. For now, we need to prevent the fire first. Thank you! My lord, it was just a dream, was it not? I'll explain later. Postpone all your plans today, including meals. I want you and all the servants to check the manor. Then let the guests know that there's danger of fire. Understood, right away. Mr. Maurice bowed and left the room in a hurry. I'll check too. You had a prophetic dream, didn't you, Ellie? Yeah! Yes, I think so. I'll be joining you as well. Let's all protect this manor together. Mr. Evan and I nodded firmly in agreement. I'll start by checking through the entire manor. There might be something. Alright, Lord's room it is then. I don't need to check here. I should go somewhere else. Okay. Reception room it is then. Hi, Ellie. Miss Noel, are you checking this room? Yes, Mr. Maurice told me to, but I haven't seen anything problematic. I see. What about up till now? Has there been anything unusual? Well, this may not be related to fire, but when I went to the storeroom where we keep our embroidery tools, I noticed silk thread was missing. Silk thread? It's the same as this. I went to pick it up before talking to Mr. Maurice. That's when I noticed. Miss Noel showed me a lustrous golden-colored silk thread. 2 bundles were gone. They were there yesterday, though. Really? Maybe they were stolen. Ellie, did you glance at me just now? It's not me this time. No, ma'am, I didn't. There's no way you would steal something like that. That's okay. Once a thief, you're a suspect for life. She doesn't need to be so hard on herself. I mean, yes, what she did was pretty major. But it is what it is. You told your lord he should go die. Anyway, I wonder why the silk's gone. Was it really stolen? It is rather expensive. I'll try looking for the thread once the manor is secure. Yes, please. I'll see if there's anything dangerous lying around too. Okay, dining room. I tried to enter the dining room, but... What? Is this locked? The door was locked and I couldn't enter. Huh, are you trying to get into the dining room? I haven't been able to enter for a while now. Louisa had seen me standing there in front of the door and decided to let me know she was passing by. And why are you not telling anyone about the fact that you cannot enter the dining room? Isn't that a little, you know, unusual? For how long exactly? Well, I tried about 10 minutes ago. Someone's inside, I guess. Someone? Who? I don't know. I have a bad feeling about this. Hey, Louisa, can you take a look inside from the window? Me? Well, alright. I suppose we need to make doubly sure of everything. Or with this talk of a fire potentially happening. Which reminds me, weren't you saying something about a fire when you woke up this morning? That have anything to do with our making the rounds now? Well, I'll explain later. What's that supposed to mean? Just fucking check the window for me? Louisa gave me a suspicious look, but went outside to check from the window. I'll let Louisa handle that for the time being. I should investigate elsewhere. Kitchen! Natalie entered the kitchen at the same time I did. Sorry, I'm late. Hey, Natalie, are you okay? Yes, sorry, left in the middle of my shift yesterday, and thank you for the treat. Seems like you've recovered. Good for you. Well, then let's get to it. Can you come help me here? Yes, what are you making now? I'm frying some onions, thinking of using them in soup. Wow, what a beautiful caramel color. Well, I did put in the work. Takes an hour to get it like this. Oh, my hands hurt. They really are nice golden brown. It must have been tough to get them like that. What? Caramelized onions in memory. Okay. Jack, I need to talk to you. At the time, Mr. Maurice came into the kitchen. I'm sorry, but could you stop cooking right away? What for? If I stop, I won't be able to prepare breakfast in time. That won't be a problem, it seems. When you get to a good point, turn off all your stoves and other flame sources. What? I mean, fine. I'll make sure I can use these again later, but still, it's so much work. I know how you feel, but we may have a fire on our hands. Can you make sure there's nothing dangerous lying about now? Fire? Really? Oh, Natalie, you help look around the kitchen too. Okay. Okay, I'll leave you to it. I'll turn off all the stoves and stuff. We'll start investigating the kitchen now. Should I come back here again later so that I don't get in the way? While considering what to do, Natalie spoke up. What the? We're missing an oil pot. Oil pot? Was there actually oil in it? Oh, Ellie. Yeah, there's always 2 here, but the one filled with oil is missing. There was only one pot where Natalie was pointing at. It's gone. Maybe it was stolen. You think so? But what would you do with a stolen pot? Oil pot. Light a fire? Really badly? Or soak the thread. Oh, soak the thread in oil. To make sure the fire goes literally everywhere if you just lay it on the thread. Would that work? With cooking oil? The oil could be used to start a fire. I have a bad feeling about this. I asked Natalie to report to Mr. Maurice and left the kitchen. Alright, we're all guests. Excuse me, Miss Mahi, you may know already. Yes, I heard. There's a danger of fire. Yes, have you noticed anything? No, nothing for now. I've been looking around this room, but haven't found anything that could cause a fire. Then it should be okay here. I bowed and left Miss Mahi's room. Well, that's easy, okay. What about the right room? Excuse me. Oh, there's no one here? There is. The room was deathly quiet. A tuft of golden hair was visible from under the sheets. Miss Layla must be sleeping. How about Miss Grace? Oh, do you need something? At that time, Mrs. Grace entered through the door. Miss Grace, as you may know, we may be looking at a fire here. Ah, yes, I heard. Is there any truth to that possibility? Then again, I suppose this whole place is indeed just one strange occurrence after another, so I'll take a look around later, after Layla wakes up. Is she even still alive? She's been in that bed for a while now. No, if you could perhaps check the room now. If something happens before, later would just be too late. Alright. With that, Miss Grace moved away from the bed and quietly began to look around the room. Can I help you? No, if both of us start to look, it'll be too noisy. Layla may wake up. Understood. Please let me know if you need anything. I bowed and left Mrs. Grace's room. I think I've looked around most of the manor now. With that, I returned to the hall. Still haven't been able to check the dining room though. There's really something fishy about that, not being able to get inside. Oh, Ellie, I tried to look into the dining room from the window. There was some cloth in the way, so I couldn't really see. That is suspicious. Cloth covering the window. That does it. I need to get in no matter what. Louisa, could you get the dining room key for Mr. Maurice? Why am I running errands for you like this? Ridiculous. Just do it. Though clearly unhappy, Louisa went to look for Mr. Maurice. But why is the dining room locked? What? I casually turned the knob and the door opened just fine. What do you mean? What do you mean the door opened just fine? There's no one in the dining room. I'm sure that someone was just here. Maybe they left when we weren't looking. I should have been washing the dining room, but I had to look in other places. The person who was just here had been in the dining room for a long time. Were they doing something here? Let me examine the room. I have to look for anything that seems suspicious. The fuck? It smells a bit like oil. This is... Paper and cloth soaked in oil were spread out underneath. What is this? Maybe someone did this while the dining room was closed. And this oil is... the missing oil. From the kitchen. This is from the oil pot that went missing from the kitchen. Is the culprit going to start a fire with this? But how? To start a fire, this would need to be set alight. Yeah. There's a clock here. I can see the top of it very well, but from what I can see, there doesn't seem to be anything strange about it. The cuckoo comes out of the clock every hour when the minute hand reaches 0. It's almost 8 o'clock, so it should come out soon. Yeah. What if you hide something in it? Would that work? Can you hide something in the cuckoo clock? Maybe I should examine this cuckoo clock. It's right over where the oil is. The bird itself. Standing on the dining room chair to reach, I opened the door to the cuckoo. There was a lit candle where the cuckoo should have been. Why is this? Was this also done when the dining room was closed? If so, then this candle must have been placed here to drop the flame onto the floor. Right, there's also paper and cloth on the floor. The clock is designed to have the cuckoo... I hate that word. Cuckoo? Bark? Come out every hour. So they plan to use that to make the lit candle fly out. The candle stand steady so it would fall. If that happened, the flame would start a fire. Huh? It's almost 8 o'clock. I looked at the clock face and suddenly realized, When the minute hand reaches 0, the candle's going to fly out. I have to take it out before that happens. It's hot. Hurrying to remove the candle from the cuckoo clock, I accidentally touched the flame. As soon as I did, I lost my balance. Oh no! I'm going to fall off the chair, but I can't let go of the candle. I toppled head first, still holding the candle. Ellie! Just then, somebody ran to me and caught me as I fell. Mr. Irving! Are you okay? Yeah. Yeah, I saved the house from being set on fire. Mr. Irving gently lowered my body to the floor. Yes, thank you so much. You surprised me. Maurice told me that the dining room was locked, so I came to check and saw you about to fall off the chair. At that moment, Mr. Irving saw the candle in my hand on the floor. Is this? Yes, this was all done to start a fire. This candle was placed so that it would fly out of the cuckoo clock when it struck 8 o'clock. That's why you have the candle. Thank you. You saved us. Are you hurt? Were you burned? Mr. Irving took the candle from me and put out the fire. Looking worried, he took my hands and looked me in the eyes. I'm okay. Embarrassed and feeling hotter than before, I looked away and noticed that Mr. Maurice and some others were at the entrance. I can't believe it. There really was almost a fire. Who was it? Who could have done something like this? Everyone come here. Someone was trying to set fire to the dining room. Louisa called out to the men in a loud voice, and one by one everyone gathered together. I do not trust you, little lady. She was the one who told us that the door was locked. We did try it ourselves. Then she went to check on the window from the outside. Oh, I forgot to check the window while I was in here. Oops. Because the CG didn't change, but I wonder if there was actually something blocking the windows or if she lied to us. When was this all set up? How terrifying. You're not kidding. Were they trying to kill us all? I'm scared. Who could do such a thing? I looked around at the gathering and noticed something. Huh? Where's Mr. Jack? Is he still in the kitchen while all of this is going on? Oh, yeah, really. We left the kitchen together. He's gonna lock us in. Were you with him the whole time? Yeah, I was. That's a bit suspicious. Jack is a chef, right? It sounds like he ran away because he's the culprit. Huh? You think so? Even if he ran away, he must be somewhere close. I'm gonna look outside. Yes, please. Noel, could you ask the people in the village to help look for him? Yes, sir. That'll really help. You all look inside the manor. Okay. I don't know if he actually ran away, but let's look for Mr. Jack. Okay. I would have locked them all in. They all ran into the dining room? You could have thrown a match in there and locked them in. Easy peasy. There you go. They know you're suspicious as hell already anyway. What's to lose? What's there left to lose? There wasn't anybody in the reception room. Although, I stood in front of the door to the basement. Ellie, where are you going? Mr. Irving, who had followed me here, asked dubiously. Are you really thinking of going to look for Jack the chef in there? He would need a key to get in. I can't imagine he'd be in there. I can. If he was just a servant, then I would agree. But maybe if it's Mr. Jack. Is there something about him? He looks just like you. Just with short hair. Mr. Irving, you haven't met Mr. Jack yet, have you? No, I only know that he's a young chef. Mr. Jack has silver hair and green eyes. He's probably the same age as you, Mr. Irving. You're very different people, but if you look closely, he does seem to look like you. Do you mean... That's why... just maybe... I see. Maurice and the others are looking everywhere else, so let's try searching here. Maybe let's not confront him. With just us two? I feel like someone's gonna die. If he really is here, that would mean that Mr. Jack is... Once underground, we found ourselves at a loss for words. The door. The bookshelf had been moved aside, revealing a hidden door. I'm sure I put it back when I left here last night. Does this mean he's beyond this door? Or maybe it's a trap. Perhaps. Do not go in there. Mr. Irving opened the door, hands trembling. He seemed to be nervous. Okay. It's not... Well... not the trap I was expecting. Well, hello, my lord. What a coincidence. I wasn't expecting you here. Mr. Jack was in the room where the exorcism took place. In his hand was a lit candle. The smell of oil wafted through the air. It's, nice. Nice. He's like, I'm trying to make my own scented candles. What do you think? Smells like oil. Mr. Jack, what were you doing here? Oh, you don't want to get any closer than that? It'd be too dangerous. Mr. Jack pointed the candle at us. Dangerous if I accidentally dropped their studies. I don't want to hurt any more girls if I can help it. If he drops the candle onto the floor now, no doubt the fire will spread very quickly. I had no other choice but to stop. Are you my older brother? Why are you still alive? The Lord stared at Mr. Jack, a stunned look on his face. That's what you're worrying about, my lord. Given the situation, why not worry about your life first? I thought you were dead until now, that I'd never be able to see you again. You're disappointing me. By the looks of things, you haven't changed that much. You were way more impressive when seen from afar. Mr. Jack's voice lacked its usual charm. It had become cold, lifeless. Is this who he really is? He's always been so bright and cheerful. Was it all just an act? Well, let's talk if you want to know so much. Why don't we start from Mother's attempted double suicide? Double suicide? You mean when her car crashed into the sea? That was an accident? It seems that Mother was very disappointed in me. She tried to kill us both so I wouldn't mess up anymore. It can't be. Unbelievable. So that's how backed up against the wall she was? Enough to do something like that? They found a dead body, but it wasn't yours, right? No, No, it definitely was his dead body. That's why he's standing in front of you, alive. Duh. That's right. I escaped from the car alone, then made my way to a port. And there I came across a boat of human traffickers. As you do. I agreed to work for them if they prepared the dead body for me in exchange. Luckily, one sailor had died during the trip, so I passed his corpse off as my own. Working for human traffickers? You mean like a slave? Why did you do that? Couldn't you just come home? Well, no, obviously. Otherwise, why would I even stoop so low? If Grandfather found out I was alive, he'd bring me back. Who knows what he'd end up doing with me then? With him regarding me as the devil and Mother gone, I just knew there'd be no way I could go on living here. Being a slave for the rest of my life would be much better. But now with Grandfather gone, I was able to come back. Was able to come back? By changing your name and working here as a servant? And having already plotted to commit this crime, right? You're right again, Ellie. Good job foiling my plans one after the other. So you're the mastermind behind all of this? I guess so. Now that it's come to this, what else can I do but admit it? Mr. Jack, can we go over everything that's happened one at a time? Sure. I want to know how much you know, so ask me anything. That is definitely how this would go about in real life. Not sure if I'll answer though. Still, it's now or never. What should I ask about? The letters. Was it you who gave Mr. William et al. Those instructions claiming yourself to be Mr. Oliver? Yes, it was. I studied penmanship under Keith, so it wasn't hard to write like him. I see, so you were studying penmanship. Mr. Jack could have indeed added to the will a few weeks ago. Seems fair to assume he was behind all the forgeries. About the intrusion. How did you enter this room? I have the key. I stole it when I was a kid and hid it in a manor, thinking it may become useful one day. That's how. Then the predecessor's room key too. Yeah, I have it. I used that to take the rifle and the knife from his room. About Keith. Mr. Keith came up to the attic the day before his death. Was it perhaps your room he was visiting, Mr. Jack? I'm surprised you know about that. Someone must have seen him, huh? Yes. Why did Mr. Keith visit your room? Apparently Keith saw my face and realized who I am. That's why he visited. I also learned at the time that he was impersonating father. I mean, I already assumed someone was. So you killed Keith because he found out who you are? Yeah. At the time I was already thinking about this plan, so I couldn't let anyone get in the way. Actually, I was waiting for him to die naturally. I heard it wouldn't be much longer for him. I just helped him along. Make it go over a little faster. A little more quickly. So about your objective, what do you want to achieve by killing Mr. Irving? Surely you're not trying to become head of the family. Oh, I surely am. The title, the position, it all belongs to me. I came to take it back. Belongs? Take it back? What nonsense. Do you even know what being the head entails? Well, what I do know is we won't settle this with words, which is why I decided to kill you instead. Yep, blame it all on foul spirit and the actions of the perpetrators themselves, then reveal I was alive all along and take my rightful place as head of the family. But every step of the way you were here to foil my plans. I never expected those would-be culprits to turn their back on me one by one. Is that why you decided to burn everything? Yeah, as a last resort. Burn your body beyond all recognition so that you and I could switch places again. Not a bad plan, right? I guess, if you hadn't told me all about it now. And giving me time to think about the plan to foil your plan again. You really come to no fear, your face says it all. You put everyone in this manner at risk. What's so funny about that? How horrible do you think your actions have been, really? Well, I think I know. I mean, I had to do it alone. I was the only recourse I had. Mr. Irving glared at Mr. Jack coldly, but the latter just gave him a wry smile. Well, I told you almost everything. You know my plans well, so I talked more than I should have in the end. Mr. Jack said that he told us everything, but is that really true? Is Mr. Jack hiding something about these cases? I think he is. Mr. Jack, are you sure you've told us everything? Are you doubting me, Ellie? Yes, aren't you hiding something? I'm sure he's hiding something. I need to find out what it is. Oh! Okay. What am I hiding? Maybe you're hiding something about that incident. You lied about something just now, right? Which incident are you talking about? Attempted poisoning, attempted shooting, attempted stabbing. The fire, because that's the last thing that happened. The fire you just told us about, you said I had to do it alone, but is that really the case? Oh. You're adopting based on what evidence? There are two pieces of evidence that prove that you couldn't, well, that prove you couldn't have tried to set the fire alone. The first one is... What? Wait, he couldn't have done it alone? Well, he was in the kitchen the entire time. Okay, wait, hold on. He was in the kitchen the entire time. He would not have been able to set up the fire in the clock yesterday. He could have done everything else, but the fire had to be set somewhere in the hour between, you know, after 7 and then again 8, because that's when it comes out, right? But in between the hours of 7 to 8, we know he was in the kitchen. Who do we know who could have moved about freely that we didn't see? The only person we didn't actually talk to is Layla. Because Layla was in bed, sleeping. But was she? No, because we met Louisa. She could have done it, but we actually talked to her. And she did check outside. Do you know why I'm thinking Layla? Looks suspiciously much like her hair, doesn't it? Because she's the only one we did not actually interact with at all. Maybe she doesn't care which twin she's marrying. I am thinking, depending on when they met, maybe she had that promise with the other one in the first place. Right? Anyway, so he needed help with the clock because he was in the kitchen. Let's see. I'm gonna see if I'm right. The other stairs. What do you mean the other stairs? What? It takes about an hour to fully caramelize the onion. Yeah, see. He was in the kitchen for that full hour, so someone else must have gone in there during that time. There was a burning candle in the cuckoo clock. Someone knew it would pop out on the hour every hour. That means the candle itself was set within the last hour. However, you were cooking for that entire hour. There's no way you would have left your workstation. Natalie also mentioned that you and her were together right up until this whole commotion about the fire began. It's a nice alibi. You wouldn't have had time to set the candle yourself. And so you dubbed me when I said I had to do it alone, huh? Yes, you couldn't possibly have acted alone, which means you must have an accomplice. The accomplice is... Oh, is there literally everyone here? Oh, no. How do I even go back up? Oh, okay. I have to click behind the roses to go back up. Interesting. I believe the accomplice is Miss Layla. She's the only one besides you who didn't come down when the commotion with the fire was taking place. Miss Layla's your former fiancée, right? It was actually you who promised to marry her, right? And? Was that the only reason why you're adopting Layla? I've proved that she was the accomplice too. That is... The silk thread, the silk thread, the silk thread. Some silk thread went missing from the manor. I think it was used to make it seem like Miss Layla was in bed. I went to the room, but I only saw her hair. She must have been outside. And can you prove that? Shall we go to the room to check? So Miss Layla's the accomplice. You're just lying to protect her. Are you and Layla really working together? Then Layla knows about everything. Mr. Irving muttered in disbelief. And Layla's already fled, has she? If so, then why are you still here? Why? For some reason the words seemed to escape him. Yes, why? Instead of running away from Miss Layla, he came here. The reason why he came here is to set this place on fire. Why would he have to set this place on fire? To stop the fire, to commit suicide. To stop it? Do you think he couldn't actually go through with it? He's not actually that evil a person? There would be no need to set an underground basement room like this room on fire. He could commit suicide. Sure, but what would be the point in his entire grand master plan then? Stop it. Mr. Jack, you came here to stop the fire, didn't you? At first I thought you came here to start a fire, but doing so would be suicidal in more ways than one, given the circumstances we're in. A fire down here would put you in direct harm's way too. You wouldn't be able to prepare things in advance and then light the wick later, like in the dining room. Which is why you think I came to stop the fire instead, huh? Yes, a burning candle had already been set even before you came here, right? Oh my, you know everything, don't you? When it all comes down to it, you don't really have much to do with the fire at all, do you, Mr. Jack? What? So all of this was Layla's plan? And he's just going along with it? You were cooking such a time-consuming dish at the time, and you didn't seem to be doing anything until the fire. Yeah, Layla only told me to take my luggage and get out of the manor before 8 o'clock, so I didn't know much about any fire until then. Oh? I came here because Layla told me that she'll erase my cursed past, which gave me a bad feeling. So that's, you know, back in the Rose Garden when she was like, oh, your family, they all, what did she say? something about them. Oh, I don't know the word in English. Going behind her back and lying to her, something about that. You know, she was so upset after the Rose Garden incident. I suppose I should have just fled together with her. But when I heard about the fire, the faces of everyone in this manor sort of flashed before my eyes. Hey, well, you're a good dude then. You're not actually that bad. Kinda. Listen, if it turns out that it wasn't actually him who attacked Natalie, but it was actually Layla because she was, I don't know, jealous of some girl hanging out with him, then I'm gonna scream. How could I have done such a mediocre job? He sat with a candle in his hand and took a deep breath. Why not put out the fire? If I put it out, it'll feel like this is all over. I don't have the strength to do it myself. I see. Ooh, let me do it then. Let me take a screenshot of that. What? At that moment, Mr. Irving put his hand over the burning candle. What are you doing? You couldn't put it out, so I did. The fire's out. Isn't it hot? It's hot, and it hurts. I probably burned myself. But now we can put this all behind us, can't we? Just stop this. You really do look impressive right now. Mr. Jack smiled at Mr. Irving and quietly spoke to him. I see. I give up. Watching them as they faced one another, I suddenly remembered the photo of them both as children. Everything may have changed since then, but I could still feel some of their old brotherly bond. Right, okay then. When we entered the hall, I could hear loud voices. Let go of me! Don't lay your filthy hands on me! There she is! Well, you didn't get very far with your fleeing, huh? You're so noisy when you're away. Criminals should at least have some manners. What did you say? You have no right to say that about other people. You're the one who needs to learn some manners. Apparently, Mr. Evan had persuaded Miss Layla to come to the hall with him. Oh, Ellie Irving. You guys got the chef? I was surprised to catch the lady here. She's the true culprit behind the fire. Ha! Miss Layla looked in our direction and ran towards us, leaving Mr. Evan behind. Irving! She screamed and hugged Mr. Jack. You're still here after all. Why didn't you come? I was waiting for you outside. You didn't come after a while, so I returned to the manor. But when I did, I was captured by this commoner. I see. Sorry, Layla. Mr. Jack stroked Miss Layla's head to calm her down and confessed. I'm really sorry, but this is it. I'm sorry that you sacrificed so much. What? It doesn't look like your wish is going to come true. It was my fiance's wish, so I wanted to do everything I could to make it come true. Miss Layla saw Mr. Irving and me and gasped as if she was just figuring something out. No. Well, we're all very much alive. So, she crumpled to the floor. Layla, my brother told us everything. Could you also talk to us?
No!
I don't know if she's willing to talk, but at least I can ask. Miss Layla, you knew who Mr. Jack really was, didn't you? When did you find out? A long time ago. I found out after receiving a letter from Irving. Is that so? And you acted as if you don't know? It seemed that my mother was involved in switching the two of them, so I didn't know what would happen to Irving if she found out that I knew. Was Miss Grace involved? It's horrible. She knew that I was in love with Irving, but forced me to marry Victor. So I swore to myself in secret I would marry Irving after having him regain his position as the head of the family. I've always dreamt of that day. Miss Layla bit her lip in frustration.
Okay.
On the first night, poison was mixed into Mr. Irving's wine. There's no point in hiding it now. I did that. I don't need to tell you why, do I? But Miss Layla, you had an alibi. You were with Miss Grace and you roomed the whole time. I asked my mother to say that in her testimony. Of course, Mother doesn't know what I did. Bruh. At the time of the Rose Garden incident, you didn't have a letter with instructions on you, so there must not have been a letter in the first place. No, I wasn't told what to do. When you attacked Mr. Irving in the Rose Garden, you claimed to have been deceived. Why? She was talking about us switching places, but she already knew. I'm sorry. I thought that saying that would unsettle you. I wanted Evan to use that opportunity to kill you. So that was why... Even so, it seems that your condition suddenly got worse after that. I was making preparations for the fire. I was hoping that the people around me would be less suspicious if they thought I was in bed all day. I mean, she's not wrong. Dainty little girl is feeling sick. Oh, she needs rest. Leave her alone. Ooh. I see. Layla, you... Just then Miss Grace called out to her in a shaky voice. Mother, you here? Are you listening? Yes. What is the meaning of this? Were you trying to burn me to death as well? Yeah. I'm sorry. I thought this was the only way that I could be with Irving. After all, no matter what I want, you would never agree to anything that inconveniences you, isn't that right? I couldn't let you interfere. Interfere? It looked like you were getting along. There's no love lost here between mother and daughter. Evan glanced at Leela and her mother before turning back to us. Well, for now it seems that we got most of the facts from the culprits. Yes, I think we've solved everything. I see. Did you find out anything about my father? I killed him. Ooh, he says. He just comes right out and says it. Fuck his entire family. Yeah. Kinda.
Blah, 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 blah. Thank you so much for the biddies. Blah, 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 blah.
You want to punch me? Go ahead. After glaring at Mr. Jack for a while, Mr. Evan opened his mouth. No, I won't hit you. I don't think murder is something that can be forgiven with a punch. I see. Then what are you going to do? I keep thinking... I have to say this before the sprite is never again there. I keep thinking that he has tattoos on his arms here. Because of the text box. Well, I don't think anything can make this all better. But I don't think that is something I can decide by myself. No, honestly, I think this goes beyond our hands. So, Mr. Irving looked at everyone around him and made a declaration. I'm going to call the police. Let the crime be judged by the law. Police? No, wait. If you do that, the whole world will know about this.
Well, maybe you should have thought about that before you hired a fucking exorcist and had him torture a 10-year-old child repeatedly. Even if that wasn't your direct thingy, you were very much involved in it and helping it, and you were forcing your daughter to marry the other guy just for the hell of it because you wanted good social standing, so fuck you in particular. Excuse me. Fuck this one. I don't like Grace. She didn't kill anyone, but she is guilty. She's guilty. Characters who value the social standing more than literally anything else, fuck you. Louisa's eavesdropping on the broadcast all over the world in an hour anyway. Honestly, she will. You would damage the Rockefort family name. I don't have any problem with that. His family has been hiding too much. Thanks to that, a number of theories were warped and used for malicious purposes. I realized this after what happened here, so now we aren't going to hide anything. We reveal it all to the light of day. These wounds that will be exposed are old scars anyway. All we were doing was hiding them in the dark. Mr. Irving? Well, I disagree. I do not approve of this. Well, you're not the head of the house, though.
I am the head of this family, Aunt. Isn't that just temporary? You aren't the official head of the family yet. I will take on his mantle henceforth. I was entrusted this position by the predecessor. Mr. Irving, his voice firm, made the declaration to everyone there. As the head of this family, I will cleanse these sins one by one. I hope that everybody will do their part to help. With that, Mr. Irving officially became the 10th Tad of the Rockefort family. 1 week later. Okay, sudden jump. Things are finally settling down. Most of the guests had already left. We found ourselves cleaning in a much quieter manner. The police were always coming and going before her. Everything was just so busy. Speaking of police, quite a few people have been caught now. I wonder what will happen. Yeah, but most of these were just attempts, so the ramifications shouldn't be too serious. Apart from Mr. Jack and Miss Layla, that is. Mr. Jack killed Mr. Keith, and instructed other people to commit crimes too. Miss Layla is responsible for both the poisoning and arson attempt, so the expectation is that she'll be punished severely as well. I know, right? I was really shocked about Mr. Jack. Well, maybe not as much as Natalie would be, as she was working closely with him. Lisa glanced at Natalie, who was cleaning the stairs. I mean, she was working together with the guy who attacked her with a knife when she was younger, so I think she's more than a little surprised. Are you okay, Natalie? Yeah, I'm okay. I was just remembering about the other day. The other day? When Mr. Jack left the manor, he gave me a hair clip. She took it out of her pocket and showed me. It was a lovely clip with a beautiful stone set into it. He said it was to keep my fringe out of my eyes during work. I see. Did Mr. Jack say anything else? Yeah, he told me he was sorry. Then I remembered. I had met him before. He pointed a knife at me back then. It was really scary. Now that I think about it, I think he also said sorry at that time too, all those years ago. Maybe it wasn't a black dog or a frightening criminal I met that day in the woods. Maybe it's just an ordinary boy. That's the feeling I get now. I see. I hope you won't have a reason to be scared anymore. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to use this clip soon. Someday, when things settle down more. Eventually we finished cleaning and Louisa and Natalie each went to work elsewhere. What should I do? While I was deciding, someone came through the front door. I'm home, Ellie. Tadaima! Okaeri! Oh, Mr. Irving, welcome home. When I saw Mr. Irving, I raced over. How was it? The police? I've given my testimony. It looks like we can finally have a break. The Lord had barely had a moment's rest since then. He'd been cooperating with the police day in and day out. It'll be a while before the investigation is fully over, but I'm glad we can at least have some time to breathe. Will you be retiring to your room? Well, how's your workload? I was thinking what I should do next. Then can we talk? Oh, but feel free to say no. It's not like I'm ordering you as part of your work. I won't say no. I'd like to talk. Good. Let's go to the rose garden. We won't be bothered there. Oh. Yes. Mr. Irving and I went to the rose garden. So, have you had any more dreams since then? The question came suddenly while we were walking among the flowers. No, I haven't. I've been able to sleep well. Good to know. Looks like I won't be dying anytime soon. That's right. Still, if I ever do have more, just know that I'll be there to save you. Ellie. Mr. Irving stopped and looked at me. Aww. Thank you. I really am grateful to you. You saved me, all of me. Not just my life, but my soul too. Oh. 16. Yeah. Mr. Irving held my hand tenderly, the way a person grasps something dear to him. It felt like there was no distance between us, even though, given our social positions, there should be. Are you sure? If you're fine with it, then so am I. You are my employer. I am technically not allowed to say no to kind of everything you do, seeing as this is 1920. I decide who to cherish. With his powerful words, I felt my anxiety melt away. Speaking of dreams... My prophetic dreams. If they're happy ones, I'd love to have them again. Even tonight. I know what you mean. What sort of dream do you have in mind? Well... First, my lord, you'd be by my... Oh, no. And I have to read this. Oh, I don't want to read this. You'd be by my side. Yes. After that, I revealed all the dreams I'd like to have to Mr. Irving. My dreams of a happy future for both of us. Oh, okay. Oh, whew. That's... How slow are these credits? Oh my god, who? How old is he? She's 60. I have no idea. I don't think he's much older, actually. So 10 years ago was when the whole exorcism happened, and back then they were still kids. I don't know, how old do you think they are based on the picture from back then? Like the 10-year-old picture? I'm guessing they were like maybe 8. I don't think they were that much older. I'm not sure if Layla ever mentioned a specific age of how old she was. She only ever said, yeah, they made a promise when they were children. And it was a human traffic slave master plan orders from 10 years ago. So she can become Mrs. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, that's not a lot of people involved in this game, huh? I like it though. I honestly didn't think after the whole Rose Garden that they had another big reveal. Hey, let me. There we go. Screenshot. Go to special and tell screen to access it. Okay, thanks. That's it. Achievement unlocked. Road to happiness. Okay. Cool. Now there is an achievement, or like there's an entire ending with Evan. So wait, but first let me check out the special. Ah, okay. Just gives you all of the... Okay, nothing more than that. Okay. Let me see if I did that correctly. I know I made a save, right? Should be here. Thank you so much for the pad. And now... Hello? I didn't click anything, game. Why does this keep happening? Evan. Now we try to choose Evan and see if we can reach his ending. I'm worried about you. The issue with your mother seems to be getting to you. What? All you need to do is worry about your master. So I can't worry about you, even though you're right in front of me? After a little silence, Mr. Evans shook his head. It was like he was literally trying to shake off something. Oh, oh, the skip function is fast as fuck, boy. Alright, now... Yeesh! Now we do a quick run through of everything, see what the difference is. Dun, 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 dun. Do a quick search. Meow. 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 I wonder if we do find out everything in this one as well, if we end up with Evan, like... Ah, maybe we catch Layla then. Oh god, how did this thing work? I don't remember. Bottom right 6. Upper left. Left side 13. That do be a fast skip, right? Upper right, right side 32. Meow. Bookshelf. Meow. Dining room. Meow. Rose garden. Meow. We get there from here. Right. Proceed. Yeah, yeah. Right. Proceed. Left. Proceed. Then the... Oh my god. the pink rose and the golden rose. And skip. Then we do not now. We don't want him to die. Then we know that that is Evan. That is a nice, very nice skip though. I like it. Put the blame on someone else. Heard from someone other than Layla. Show the evidence. The diary. Keith. Impersonate. You know what? Because... Wait, what game was it? There was a game I played for myself just recently. The skip function, Best of Fellows, which is an Otome game. It's a good game. I liked it very much. I can definitely recommend it. It's on the Switch. Translation is pretty good as well. Except for the one thing that I fucking hated about it was that some of the, you know, kind of animated scenes, cutscenes were not necessarily translated, like with subtitles. So that was weird, but that one had a skip option, as they usually do. Problem being, the skip is not very fast. The chapters are very fucking long. To get to some of the bad endings, to get it to 100%, because you had to do that, you had to sit through like 3 chapters, choose all of your options, and it would take so long, because the skip option, I could still read. I put it to the fastest that was possible. I could still read most of the text boxes. That should not be possible. If I put a skip to the fastest you can go, I should not be able to read it. Why was Mr. Evan called in for the seance? I still don't understand that. Like I said before, Keith didn't explain much about the seance to me. I didn't even know that the plan was to call the spirit of Mr. Oliver. So when I find Evan's name on the will left by Keith, I thought that was Keith's wish. I thought he wanted to talk to Evan even after his death. I see, that's what Mr. Maurice thought. Okay, rest is the same. Because this one I cannot read what it says there. Absolutely not. Which is good. That's how I want this skip to be. Meow. Dining room. Meow. I'm sure. I see, I understand how you feel. But this is not the time to be faint-hearted. I have to act so that your dream won't come true. Yes, I'll help you. Thank you. Hey! When Mr. Irving smiled, someone came into the dining room. Oh, you're both here already. Mr. Evan relaxedly sat in a chair next to Mr. Irving. I spoke briefly to Ellie earlier, but I have something to tell you about my father. Would you mind listening? Sure. What do you mean by earlier? I did hear a disturbance not too long ago. Oh, that might have been because I went to Ellie's room. Her room? Shouldn't I have? But we read this. It is prohibited for men to enter the female servant's room. That's a rule. You like delicacy. Yep. My father's actually... Just then Mr. Maurice entered the dining room. Oh, where's the difference? My lord, I have something to report. Oh, Evan and Ellie are here. Perfect, I'll tell you all. You have something to say? Yes, I have the results of the analysis. We know this. Why can I not skip it? The results conclude that the letter in the did yes. There was someone mimicking his handwriting. Yep. His name was added by someone else. Ah! Why can I not skip it? We have read this before. I'm not reading it out loud because I know we had it before. Yeah, you can go with it. There we go. Okay. The fuck? The text was the exact same. Blue room. Explain. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? The will paper. There it is. The letter from Oliver? Question mark. The white room. The letter from the corporate. Layla's. Oh, that's different. Miss Layla attacked Mr. Irving last night. She said, "You and your family deceived me, so this is my revenge." Do you have any idea what she meant? I'm not sure. I think this has something to do with the promise that Miss Layla made with Mr. Irving when they were young. How ridiculous. Deceit. What is she talking about? Ah. We read that before though, as well. The promise that he doesn't remember because it's not actually him who made the promise. Oh my god, okay. Whee! The paper. The key. Oh my god. Fast as fuck, boy! Move it to 12 to get to the 0. Then we find the funky room again. As soon as I click the apple, right? This one. This one. And then use the key. The nice thing about the game is that it all of the time rearranges your inventory, and most of the time the stuff you actually need, like the 1 or 2 items you actually need, end up being like right there. So even if you had no idea what to do, you would just need to look at the clues that are now like front and center, and you'd go, ha, maybe these have something to do with it. Most of the time. Not every time, but most of the time. Okay, we're now at the point where we were at when we started playing today. We asked both of them again. We asked Noelle, then Noelle is like, "Oh, I didn't do anything, I just have the cozy. The floor, the box, the teacup. The tea has been replaced. Then we go to the hall. I can count on him. Then we go to the dining room. Then there's a spider there. I do feel sorry that I ever thought Louisa did something wrong. Like, she's a little mean at times, but she never actually did anything wrong. Like, she's literally just doing her job. The tea cozy. The black dog? Wait, what? Well, first of all... What else could have something... Oh, whoops. Wrong. The knife. I'm not confronting your aunt yet. I'm stupid. Now I'm confronting the aunt. Okay, anyway. You sort of broken down. Then you use the cozy to take the knife out of there because it has something to do with the black dog. Chan cha chan. She's the only one that's not even involved in this mess. Yeah, kinda. Like, she loves to gossip, but she never actually did anything wrong. And we search. Check the room. Alright, there should be a difference here then. Anyway, we find the picture. Then we Go to the window, then we call for him. Then he doesn't hear us, we look for other ways. We use the entire fucking candle. We do not jump. We use these. Alright, there should be a difference here. Want to follow Mr. Evan. I've decided I want to follow you. Let's find out the truth together. That's my girl. I like you better that way. Really? But certainly this is how it should be. This is who I am. I must proceed without hesitation. With that mindset, I took a look around. Wasn't it here? I wonder if the rest of it will just be the same. Oh, yeah, looks like it. The rest of it is just the same. She just has a short moment of going like, oh, this is how it should be. Where's the exorcism? Here. What? All the more reason for me to have to remember properly. Then you should. That might solve the case. A voice suddenly echoed through the air from behind me. I glanced over my shoulder and saw Mr. Evan standing there. Mr. Evan, how long have you been there? Oh, from about the time he said he couldn't recall what happened a decade ago. I heard you guys were searching, I was listening in, but I couldn't help myself, so here I am. Hey Irving, try to remember for me. Huh. It hurts to remember what happened. Have you got now? Couldn't care less, I see. Mr. Irving smiled. It was like he was somewhat relieved at Mr. Evan's words. Ah. We need to think about what this memo means too. Absolutely, let's get to the bottom of this. Let's find out everything. Indeed. We nodded at each other with newfound resolve. Ha, now we're all working together. That's the difference, okay.
The end of the nightmare.
Okay. There should definitely be something. I guess we're going to end up dating him in the end then. But I wonder if we find out the whole truth about this. The memo. Then the bookshelf. It's the same letters. Then we look at the bookshelf again. Then we look at F. And then it's the letter before G. And then we take out the screw. Ah, wait, fuck, I forgot. I forgot to actually take the coin. Now we take out the screw. Using the coin. Yes, very good. Then we look at the incense burner. Then we're like, damn, I can't get in there. Then we use the coin to get into the incense burner. Then we talk to him. Then we ask him a bunch of questions about his older brother, the reason for his anger, the replacement. Move! About the idea. Then we're tired. Then we meet him in the kitchen. Then we ask him a bunch of questions. It's interesting though. We find him in the kitchen. He talks about, oh, just making sure everything is turned off, and then the next thing we see is the fire. Of course we would think he actually set the fire. Or he's the main person responsible for the fire. Turns out he's not. Yeah, you want to check all of the rooms, I know. The reception room. The dining room. We cannot get into the dining room. The kitchen. The blue room. The white room. All of that is the same. We want to examine the room. Yes. Da, 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 da. We want to look at the floor, lift the carpet, find out there's a bunch of oil on the fucking floor. The oil part. Then we look at the clock, at the bird itself, to drop the flame onto the floor. Mr. Evan! Aha! So in this one, Mr. Evan catches us. That's dangerous. What were you doing? His tone was rough, but Mr. Evan gently lowered my body to the floor. Thank you so much. The butler said that the dining room was locked, so I came to check and saw you about to fall off the chair. What happened? Mr. Evan noticed the candle on the floor. What is all this? This was all done to start a fire. This candle was placed so that it would fly out of the cuckoo clock when it struck 8 o'clock. So that's why you have a candle. Good job. Mr. Evan ruffled my hair. You mess up my hair if you do that. Letting him do as he pleased, I looked away and noticed that Mr. Maurice and some others were at the entrance. Yep. Can't believe there was almost a fire. Who knows who could have done something like this? Everything else is the same. We also go to the reception room. So we do confront him. Interesting. We do the exact same thing. About the letters. About the intrusion. About Keith. About his objective. He is hiding something. Okay, we're almost there. The residence fire. You had help with the clock and the onions. Layla. The silk thread. You're here to stop the fire. Louisa and Natalie wrote the Irving letter to Layla and thought Jack from Slay. Louisa's no motive, but maybe she hates Layla for having same hair color. Yeah, definitely. Let's make this even more convoluted than it already is. Alright, let's see. 1 week later. Eventually we finished cleaning. Louisa and Natalie each went to work elsewhere. What should I do? While I was deciding, someone came through the front door. Hey Ellie, I'm back. Oh, Mr. Evan, welcome back. When I saw Mr. Evan, I raced over. How was it? The police? Mr. Evan had been at the police station the entire time to testify about the case and to confess about his attempted stabbing of Mr. Irving. I was technically arrested, but I was immediately released for actively cooperating with the investigation and also because Irving asked the charge to be reduced. Is that so? Good to know, I was so worried. I breathed a sigh of relief. I had a feeling the charge wouldn't be too severe, but to actually hear it in person was truly heartening. Anyway, I've done all I can here. I can go home now. Home, right. You can't stay here forever. I'll miss you. Yeah, to be honest, I'm sad too. Sad to have to leave you, especially. Mr. Evan. I found myself gazing into his eyes. Eventually he spoke, a serious look on his face. Ellie, would you like to come with me? But by that you mean... Leave this place, stay with me. Oh, don't worry about money. I actually found out I'll be inheriting my dad's estate. Should be enough for us to live comfortably for a while. Plus, thanks to what happened here, I got to know one of the police officers and they asked me to help their cause. The point is, I got a job. So, can you come with me? Mr. Evan. Lol. What the fuck would even happen if I say stay at the manor right now? Wait, I want to know. I'm gonna make a save. I want to know what happens. Is that a bad ending then? Probably. Anyway, we follow him. Yes, I'll go with you. Really? I mean, if I don't, then I won't be able to see you here next to me. You'll be far, far away. That's right. Thanks, Ellie. From now on, we'll be together forever. You guys have known each other for a week. With that, Mr. Evan hugged me tight. There should be many things to think about, and yet my mind is somewhat totally clear. If I'm with him, everything will be fine. Somehow it seemed natural.
So you're leaving?
Very next day, Irving dies. On my last day at the manor, Mr. Irving came to bid us farewell. The smile on his face seemed to mask a certain sadness. With your curiosity, you might indeed be happier spreading your wings, seeing all the wonders the world has to offer. Still, if anything happens, come back any time. I'll be here, waiting. Oh.
Oh.
Let's go, Ellie. Whoa, Mr. Evan, please don't pull me that hard. With Mr. Evan's firm grip leading the way, I left the manor. Hey, enough with that Mr. Evan business. I'm no longer a guest. Alright, then, Evan. Yeah. Hey, are there any places you want to go? We'll head to London for sure, but let's not stop there. You've been locked up in a manor this whole time, so I'm sure you want to enjoy being out and about, right? Places I want to go? Well, I've never really thought about it. I thought I'd be working at the manor forever. It's so exciting. The sky above me feels so much higher. The world seems so much more vast. Alright then, I want to go to a big city somewhere. Someplace fun and interesting. That's a good idea. Okay, let's go. I love that spark you get in your eyes when your curiosity kicks in, so you better believe I'll show you the world. Yay! I grasped Evan's hand even more tightly and set out on a new path through life. Okay. Where's the harem ending where she's dating both of them? That's a very good question. So that's literally the only difference. You're like a little more nice to Evan in those 3 options, and then you end up with him. But I'm happy that at least you do get to the truth of the whole murder business in either one of those. So that's something at least. Fun, okay. Oh, 1 translator. Yeah. Yeah, okay, that's not a lot of people working on the game, no? Well, but that just means I actually get to finish the game tonight. That's nice. That means I have to rewrite my schedule for next week. God damn it! Finish. Achievement unlocked. Road to freedom, it says. And that is it for Gothic Murder, actually. That is all there is. Well, that's not entirely true, I guess. Technically, there's this entire true end or another end. There's this entire flowchart where there's a bunch of bad endings you can get, I guess. I've never actually seen the credits of one-man projects. I wonder what they do. Yeah, but I'm not interested in seeing the bad endings. I mean, what would even happen? Like, okay, she searches the dining room, she looks at the wrong thing, she notices too late, it comes out and everything catches on fire, she dies. You don't get any achievements for it. There's not a, like, completionist thingy in here. You don't have a special CG or anything. Oh, wait, maybe, do we do? Do we have a special CG? Oh, we have the 2 ending CGs, okay. You have to ask for signs. The game has no R18. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. This is all the game has to offer. It's cool though. I'm surprised. Like, I mean, I did buy it because I was interested in the whole mystery aspect. And I was thinking, like, is it an Otome game? And then people were like, oh no, it's not an Otome game. But in the end, she does end up, like, depending on what ending you do, she does end up with one of them. So I would count it. I would count it. Otome game, romance game, whatever you want to call it, she does end up with the guy. So that's a romance game for me in my book. The protagonist is 16 years old. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for the bag. No. Why does this happen? I don't want to. No. Why? Why does it go to chapter 1? The fuck? Get me back to the title. Another game added to the list of finished games. That's very true. I'm gonna just have this one open. It's a nice picture. I did not expect the whole, oh, actually he was a twin reveal. After that one came the whole, oh, they changed places thing was very like, very high on the list of probabilities, but I did not expect a whole twin thing in the first place, so that's nice. Avoid a bad concern. And the poison just makes people horny. No, we're not. This game was good with what it did. I liked the mystery. People were a little wild, but to be fair, I think in all of the stories where it's like, oh, super rich people have some fucking place, or like have some family void going on. Yeah, that's like normal. That is what happens in those stories. So I'm not surprised. No twin sisters, no. Wait, you guys, I'm gonna go over here. Let's go over here and put on some nice tunes. It's easier for me to click buttons wildly. Oh my god. But yeah, that's another game finished. Nice. And I didn't even have to go overtime. Endless possibilities for bad endings. Well, yeah, you could at pretty much every choice. It's kind of like, oh, you go to the wrong room, or you talk about the wrong. Wait, no, you didn't. Well, I guess you would just get a normal game over if you choose the wrong evidence to present, stuff like that. But other than that, oh, I can add this to my finished game list on Steam as well. Yay! Excuse me. Because I have all of my Steam games put into different groups, right? And I have a separate list for like visual novels finished and unfinished. Boom! It's gone from the unfinished VN list. Yay! Very proud. But that means I have a new game for next week. A good thing is that this one, for like this time slot, I had already in mind for a great many weeks. Meanwhile, I was struggling what to do on Saturday next time. But now I found something. You will see in like a second, as soon as I fix it up. It's such a long game title though. Whoa, Jesus. Because now I need to fix my entire fucking schedule. Isn't that fun? It's too big. The new game for Wednesday is too big for the schedule. I'm gonna cry. Thank you for the pad. You also have a finished list on Steam. I barely remember which games I finished first. I started a list of... Yeah, exactly. I'm the same. I'm like, oh... Because otherwise I won't remember what games I still have to do. So it's nice to have. There we go. That means we have 2 new games we're going to be starting next week. Fun! 2 new games and me finally continuing Merudu, because we've literally only played Merudu once, and all the other streams something came in between, which I'm like, for some reason it seems the Arlen trilogy is a little cursed. I'm sorry for that. I do try. But yeah, I will be posting the schedule in like a second. We will be doing 2 new games. I mean, I can say it right now what the games are. You'll see in a second anyway. One of them is it's a visual novel mystery hybrid thingy again. The name itself is a little... It's really long. You know, the English name they gave it is Alternate Jake Hunter Daedalus, The Awakening of Golden Jazz. So in short, it's one of the Jake Hunter games. Jake Hunter, which some of you might know. Me personally, no fucking clue. Like, I know that they exist. I've never played any of the others before. They're a staple, apparently, in Japan at least. I'm not sure how many of them exactly came out over here in the first place. But you can play this one with no knowledge of the other games. So I'm hoping to finally try that out, because it looks interesting. So that's what we're going to be doing on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Wednesdays and Sundays. You can also move the new game back a week if something gets... Very true. Very true. Yeah. We will definitely be doing Merudu this week. If something does get in the way again on one of those days, I'm simply going to put it on at least the other day and push back the new game. I'm just saying, like, the reason I genuinely do not want to do Merudu 2 days in a row. Because I feel like playing it once a week for a little while is always fun, but doing it like 2 days in a row, like just thinking about it is like, no, I don't think my brain likes that. And I don't want to lose like the motivation to even play the game in the first place, because it's probably genuinely going to be fun once I get a little further in and, you know, don't accidentally start fights with rabbits that are too strong for my own good. I think I still like Rorona the most out of all of the other year games we've done so far. I mean, we haven't done a lot yet, but you all know my problem with Totori. So Rorona is still very much in first place, and I doubt Merudu is going to do much better. Hopefully better than Totori. I do want to give them a chance. I genuinely like them. Maybe I'm just doing something wrong with playing them. Who knows? But yeah. And... yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's literally that. It's going to be the end of January already next week. I don't know how time keeps passing so quickly. But yeah, we assuming the schedule doesn't go out of whack, which I genuinely hope it won't. Rorona seem to be less difficult to manage the time for you. Yeah, exactly. I can also tell you exactly why that is. Because for Rorona, the whole process was more linear. You have 3 months to do this exact thing. Totori threw that way overboard. It was also like, yeah, you have the amount of time, kind of, do a few of these things and you're good to go. And Merudu is like, try to complete these in a timely manner, but you don't really get any information what the timely manner is. Like, I know we already have a quest that is like, fight this monster, but they also tell me that the recommended level for the monster is 20 and we're level 12 right now. We played the game for 5 hours and I'm like, am I supposed to be at that level yet? When am I supposed to reach that level? Should I have reached that in the first 2 months we played the game for already? I'm like, that's what's giving me trouble mostly. Rorona was more linear in how they wanted you to approach everything and what the end goals were. So that's why I'm struggling with the other two so much. That's why I struggle with Totori more. Well, and also because I'm always scared I won't be able to reach an ending, because I don't know if I'm doing well right now, or if I'm doing like absolutely fucking awful, right? Like in Norona, I knew the guide I had opened said, "Hi, make these 3 items. Try to do this and that in the alchemy stuff, and you're good to go." And I mean, in Norona, in the end, I definitely didn't do everything the guide said because I was simply not strong enough, but it worked out fine. In Totori, it did not. It did not work out fine. So I'm always scared that the same thing is going to happen in Merudu, but I should just try. Just keep playing the game. We're going to reach an ending. As long as it's not a bad ending, I'm fine with it. I think I'd have to do really badly to reach a bad ending. Well, you know, run into some more bunnies. No, but we'll see about that. So next week's plan is gonna be new game on Wednesday. Hopefully a game that I will be able to fit into the 3-hour schedule for the Wednesday streams. Otherwise we'll maybe get hit with some cliffhangery thingies again, but it's gonna be fine, I guess. Translation for it is good, I think. I think someone I do follow, like, with their translation stuff worked on this one, so I'm hoping the English translation will be good, if I remember correctly. Then Friday, Merudu. Just some 100% RPG playthrough. Yeah. No. I have played certain RPGs to 100%. Like 100% achievements, for example. I have 100% on Persona 5 Royal. For example, I played the first Hyperdimension Neptunia to 100%, even though that took literally years. And also that specific game was retconned from the canon storyline, so that's also fun. But those are games that I was able to 100% complete in one playthrough. And I cannot stop saying it, I am not a fan of, hi, you have to play a game on New Game Plus to get to 100%. Because that is stupid. That is stupid. I already spent a great many hours to play an RPG and then I have to do it all again just to get to 100%? No. I will simply not do that. I don't care. I will not do that. But that's fine. What is it? Different strokes for different folks? Something like that, right? Anyway, this is probably where I'm going to put an end for tonight, because this means I still have some time left in the day. I can post the schedule in a second. I keep saying in a second, but it's going to be a few more seconds because I'm waiting. I'm waiting on my Twisted Wonderland thingy to be over, because I'm letting that run to use up my AP in that game. I'm using my AP because okay, wait, let me talk about Twisted Wonderland for a second, just because I can. You know how that released now, the English version? I refuse to call it an international version because it only released in the USA and Canada. Despite it being a literal fucking Disney game, they do have the money and all of the rights for their own game to release it literally everywhere. But alas, I guess they do not want the Europeans, or literally anywhere else. the thing is, I played the Japanese version for it back when it came out for a long while. Relatively long, I guess. So I know what I have to do, but now I can actually read it. And it's one of those games where you have 10 AP max, and once they're full, they do not regenerate anymore. So you actually have to open the game like 6, 7, I don't know how many times in a day to use up those AP. And then you can close it again. That's perfectly fine, but you just have to open it very, very often to use those. Which I am personally not a big fan of. Like, I'd rather have like, I don't know, 100 AP to collect in my mobile game and then open it once a day, easy peasy. Or like twice a day. But it is what it is. Like, if you want to max out stuff as quickly as possible, or if you want to take part in events, right? Obviously, if you don't take part in any events or don't care that much about getting everything, you don't need to do that. But that's on me. I'm trying to grind out everything I can in the game as quickly as possible to be prepared for the big gacha. So I keep sitting here doing whatever it is I'm doing, like streaming right now. And in the time this stream took, I had to open the game twice already to let those AP run through. And I just now had a level up. And a level up in the game gives you a full AP as well. So I was in the middle of using up 10 AP, had a level up, and then had another 10 on top of it. So it took a very long time to do that just now. And I was waiting for that to like finish because I wanted to see where I should send you guys to. Who is live? Who is doing fun stuff? So I could do a nice little raid. Ooh. We could say hi to my sibling. Hehe. You know how we found out that I have an art sibling? Ooh, he's doing art right now. Let's say hi. That sounds like a great idea. That sounds like a fun idea. Thank you for a nice stream. No, thank you for coming as always. I still haven't said what it is that I have planned for Saturday, but as soon as you guys see the schedule, I'm interested in how surprised you're going to be, so that's fun. Hehe. Anyway, let me set up the raid. As soon as I type the name correctly. No. Nope. Definitely did not type that correctly. No. Yeah, there we go. Here's the raid message. Thank you guys so much. Wow. Hearts in my face. Thank you guys so much for coming as always. We will see each other next week. Have a great rest of the weekend. Stay safe. Take care. I wish you all a very, very good night. And let me switch the screen. There we go. Good night. And bye bye.